Let me see your identification.
What did you say? I'll tighten those restraints. Scavenger scum.
We don't need to see his identification.
I will remove these restraints and leave the cell with the door open.
My lord.
Gentlemen, gentlemen, gentlemen,
Oh, Billy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sidebar Cantina, the podcast where we talk about Star Wars, pop culture, Dave rubbing his nipples, or whatever the fuck we feel like talking about. I'm Mr. Jason Roscom. With me here each and every single week, lead Darth Vader to my Palpatine, Dave Martin. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Jason.
How are you?
I feel like I just raced in here,
Yeah, well,
And
because
set up.
you kind of did.
peed, and then here we are.
Here we are.
So, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, well, we're doing a podcast right now.
Oh, are we?
Yes, and
That explains the headphones.
yes, and what are we talking about today?
Well, I hope we're talking about Andor,
Yes,
so because that's what I prepped for. So, Andor.
yes,
The
Andor-
next three.
Yeah, part 3, as I'm calling it.
Yes.
Of season 2. It's
So that would be 7, 8, 9?
correct.
Woo!
Good job. Got on the first try. Yeah, and this is a hell of a 3 episodes to talk about, so I'm looking
Bro.
forward to this conversation.
Bruh.
And
For sure. It took, I know Helmet Fire had texted me earlier in the week. It's like, have you watched yet? And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
hoping Saturday. And so I know has been waiting for this.
Mm-hmm.
And once I saw it on Saturday, I wanted to text you, and I'm like, no, I'm just going to wait.
Yeah.
Gonna wait.
Yeah, well, I didn't get to finish it until last night, actually. We watched one episode on Saturday, and then, the last 2 last night. And then I watched them all again this morning. And,
Oh, lucky.
and took notes.
I
So-
should have watched them again, but
Yeah.
I didn't. What did I
Yeah.
do? I did something else.
Sa-
Anyway,
save it for your week.
like I'm going to remember by then.
All right. So, as usual, we've got a bunch of business to attend to. So, should we start with Patreon?
You start with Patreon.
All right.
And I am not.
Okay. All right. Well, we'd love to give a huge shout out to all of our current patrons: Frank Kalevich, Don Solsky, Helen Martin, Shotgun Mark, Nick from Sweet Studios, Scott and Kim from the Use and Abuse podcast, Catherine Rennick, Tina Land, Wally Frogmore, my wonderful mother-in-law Patricia Goodstein, Lord Helmet Fire, The Orange and Fett Show, Carly Vickers, David Schmuck, Chantal from Pop My Culture, Kristen Roscom, Sterling Asia, Dragon Buddy, Frederick Martin, and Nicholas Schaefer. If you'd like to consider becoming a supporter, you can find us at patreon.com/thesidebarcantina. Thank you again to all of our listeners and supporters. You
There you go.
are the reason why we do this. Couldn't get the snap right. That's all.
That's so it really irritates me that we can't have one. I want one continuous scroll. The fact that I had to break it into 3 is kind of like meh.
Yeah, because it's a character limitation.
Yeah.
Lame.
Lame.
So anyway, we got any sidebar headlines?
Show us what you've got.
You sound like the guy from Galaxy Quest. You are our last hope.
You were our last hope. No, that was more of it was a planet in Rick and Morty where it was like these big giant floating heads,
Mm-hmm.
and then in order to save the Earth, Rick and Morty ended up doing like they were kind of like late 80s hip hop
Uh-huh.
thing. It
So
was-
wait, they had to perform late 80s hip-hop in order
Yeah.
to save the planet?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
and Ice T or Ice Cube, I can't remember, showed up, but he was made of ice. It was a good episode.
Sounds like something Ice T would do. I think that's above Ice Cube.
Yes, it was Ice T.
Aha.
It was Ice T. I'm almost positive.
Yeah.
Vickers is in the chat. He'll correct me.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sure he remembers those episodes. It all turns into, dude, my penguins are splashing around so much right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so much shit happening. So I should talk about sidebar headlines, which is what
Yes.
it comes next.
Yes.
It should flash at me. That'd be awesome if like Lunar Girl can like go in there, almost like it was a Teams thing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should do that.
I mean, if that's a way to get you to pay attention, then, I'm all for it.
Well, it's going to distract me. But at least it would distract me to the thing I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
But anyway, sidebar headlines. Luna Girl, Dragon Buddy, and Brady Big Lovin' will be at the Philly Fan Expo this Saturday.
Oh, there might be somebody else there as well.
Yeah, May 17th. DM us the socials or let us know in Discord if you plan on attending and find LG for some sidebar swag. I sadly will not be able to go. I obviously have other thing going on that I'll talk about in my week.
Mm-hmm.
But I encourage all of you that are in the area and those of you who aren't to go. And God, it's a shame.
Yeah.
I'd love to see the guys.
Yep.
It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. You were booked prior.
Yeah, I'll get to it. We'll get to that. That's all. That was it for the thing. I'm sure we'll talk about Fan Expo later.
Okay. So that's it for the sidebar?
That's it.
All right. Well, I wanted to, we want to give a big happy birthday shout out to Mr. George Lucas.
Oh,
who is turning 81 in 2 days.
George.
Yeah. So he's getting up there in age.
Oh, no, sometimes George jumps into the chat.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It's been a while, though.
Has been a while.
Yeah, so maybe he'll grace us with his presence one of these days.
Has it really been a while?
I think so.
Or are we just is our time dilation just to the point where we just don't understand what?
That's altogether possible, yeah.
Yeah. I have no concept of time anymore. Like days of the week, I've been so fucking busy that just the generalized idea of what day of the week it is or what time, I'm going by major event at this point. It's that major event is happening this many sleep cycles.
Right.
That's how when I'm thinking about it. It's dates and days of the week and all that other shit is irrelevant at this point. And sleep cycles are irrelevant too because I haven't been sleeping well.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, it's a thing. I don't know. I don't get it.
Ooh, did you get him?
I think I did.
All right.
Maybe not. Damn it.
Anyway. So sleep cycles, yes.
So many sleeps.
And happy birthday, George. Turning 81.
81.
94.
Minus 13.
Right.
Math.
Yeah. So we ready to get into our weeks?
Yes.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
I got all kinds of shit to talk about this week. First of all, Dave, you are benefiting from my children being bums.
Sweet.
Yes, because I have a gift for you.
Woo!
The sacred Jedi.
Jason is for those of you who don't have the benefit of watching the what is this?
I believe it's complete. So hopefully it is. It's Legos. It's the gift of Lego, as we've had this fucking Lego set laying around our house for 5 years now. And it was a Christmas present to one of the boys. I don't even remember who. But it sat on the inside drawer of a table for 2 years. We uncovered it, let the boys know. One of them claimed it, and when they claimed it, they left it on the dining room table for another year. So we're just okay, that's it. Or I'm just okay, that's it. Kristen didn't want to give it away, but I said, fuck it. We got too much junk in our house as it is. So I'm at least this will get some good use and will be appreciated by the recipient.
So I highly doubt it's complete. However, I can finish it.
Okay.
Because that's my thing. That's what I do.
Yeah. And for those of you not in the YouTube chat, it is the ghost from Rebels.
Yes.
Which is kind of relevant because we're going to, in a roundabout way, talk a little bit about that
this is
today.
What year did this come out? This is probably maybe 2012.
Yeah.
2014.
So, yeah, if it wasn't for my boys being bums and hoarders, you might not have it, but thankfully they are, and
I love it.
Dave has some more additions to his Lego
Oh my
Star Wars
God.
collection.
Thank God for Lego.
Yep. Figured a little therapy would never hurt.
Fuck yeah, man.
So speaking of my kids.
Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Speaking of my kids, my youngest son, Ben, is now officially driving. He finished his driver's training school, and he now has his full permit, and he and I have been hitting the road. And it's scary for multiple reasons.
God, it is scary. I just got goosebumps, man. What the fuck?
Yeah, so my youngest son is now driving. He graduates next year, which is fucking crazy. My middle son graduates in a month. So it's fucking...
Will there be a celebration?
Probably. Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know what or when, but I'm sure there will be. But yeah, it's crazy. And we the first place I took him was to the Deluxe Bakery over by you.
Hell yeah.
That's man, they got some killer donuts in that place.
Donuts that I can't have.
Yeah.
But they do have, for those that are also on a gluten-free diet, they have gluten-free cupcakes.
Huh.
And gluten-free cupcakes, and I think they do it like a cake. But on Evesham Road, right, which is that main drag.
Yeah,
there.
it's like the main road between Dave and I.
All right, on Evesham Road, when you go past the high school, the traffic light where the high school is,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like the softball fields on the left.
Yep.
The strip mall that's just on the left there, as you get past the traffic light,
Mm-hmm.
there's a place there called a delicate. No, it's like delectable desserts.
Okay.
We know the owners. In fact, I coached. It's a funny story. I coached her son in flag football, and then he ended up becoming one of the coaches in flag football,
Mhm.
and he went to Embry-Riddle.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like straight out of high school. Like one of the only other people to like even hear of Embry-Riddle. So when they saw it on my car, they're like, "You went to Embry-Riddle?" So it was like a whole thing.
Nice.
Yeah, amazing food. The desserts are fantastic. It's really good. Deluxe has the market on those donuts.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is a thing. That is I'm going on a mission. This is what we're getting from Deluxe. But for other really good desserts, I would try that place out.
Nice.
Add it to the list.
Yeah, and when you mentioned gluten-free cakes and whatnot, a year ago, I probably would have vomited at the thought. But Kristen has proven that gluten-free desserts can be delicious with those brownies she made for you guys.
Yeah.
The last time we hung out.
Yeah, they've got it. They've got it down to a science.
Yeah.
Like I will say that moderation is key for some things.
Yeah.
Because like gluten-free, you can go crazy with the gluten-free Oreos.
Mm-hmm.
Because they taste like the regular Oreos, but they process differently.
Oh.
Like, so standard Oreos have, I guess, an exponentially increased process rate.
Yeah.
If that makes, trying not to be as graphic, but yes.
Yeah. So speaking of Oreos, another sidebar. Have you, well, I guess because you're on the gluten-free thing, you probably haven't seen, but have you seen anybody eat double stuffed Oreos in a while? Like, you remember double stuffed Oreos back in the day, right?
Oh,
The
yes.
fucking, with the nice big thick layer of
Uh-huh.
fucking thing. I love that shit.
Yeah.
Well, so we bought some double stuffed Oreos, and you know what they are now? Now
Right.
they're just like the regular Oreos that we had back in the day with a super thin layer. I'm like, these are not fucking double stuffed. I don't know who the fuck thinks that this is. But yeah, no, it's a fucking thin ass layer. It looks like it's even thinner than the normal Oreos we used to eat back in the day. So I'm like, these motherfuckers.
Fucking travesty.
I know.
They fuck you in the Oreos.
Yes, they do.
So what I will say is that where they don't fuck you is you can get the gluten-free Oreo, and it's good that there's plenty of cream in there.
Yeah.
My penis so smooth.
But what I like is the vanilla cookie Oreo.
Mm-hmm.
I like that better gluten free than the regular Oreo.
Okay.
I process it better.
Yeah.
But also the Walmart brand gluten free version of it
Yeah.
is actually good too, and it's cheaper and it's like normal size.
Yeah.
But you can also like, the joke is like, how many sleeves have you eaten? Like,
Right.
go by the sides and like you eat like a stack of them like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad, so bad.
Is milk gluten free?
Yeah,
Okay. I don't know.
just straight milk.
Yeah. Because if I'm going to eat Oreos, I'm going to have them with some milk.
Yeah, milk's gluten free, dude.
All right.
Have
Cool.
at it.
Nice.
As long as it's just regular ass fucking titty milk, you're good to go.
Yeah. Cow titty, but
It's still a titty.
indeed. All right. I don't know. I don't know what
Says the
hell's-
guy that has oat milk in his fucking refrigerator at home.
Oh, that's you?
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, I don't have oat milk.
No, I do.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, Ben's been doing great with the driving so far.
That's awesome. It's scary, but awesome.
Yep. So I mentioned to you I got a new computer last week.
Yes.
New gaming computer. It's been awesome. I finally got through the Doom 2016 game because I've been playing with that for like over a year now, and I've slowly creeped my way to the end, and I finally beat it last weekend. I like dedicated a couple hours. I'm like, I'm going to finish this, and I finished it, and then I started Doom Eternal, which is the next one in the series, and I got about 3 levels in, and I'm just like, ugh, this formula is getting a little bit old. Because it's not like normal first-person shooters. It's sort of like you go into an area and then it's like fucking waves and waves of shit coming at you, and you're just like running around trying not to die and kill everything. I'm looking for a standard first-person shooter right now. you
Yeah,
know?
it's taking that zombies approach.
yeah, exactly. Where they're just sending endless waves, and I'm kind of in the mood for like a shooter where you're going through stuff and doing things and shooting stuff and playing through like a storyline, which
I don't know how you like. Call of Duty it is what it is,
yeah,
but honestly, Destiny 2,
mm-hmm.
highly playable and enjoyable.
Okay,
It has storylines to play through. It's a huge open world
mm-hmm.
that you can keep going back to and have your side quests and everything else.
yeah,
Honestly, if I had more like free time, I would get more into it because
Yeah.
I downloaded it. I picked it up on Steam and downloaded it.
Mhm.
And there's like add-ons, like it because Destiny 2's been out for a while, but
right,
they've had like different storylines. So you can play through the story and get to the end of it,
Mhm.
and then now the world's open and you just go. It's huge, dude.
Yeah.
It's a massive world,
all right,
and then they'll come up with a new storyline. It's almost like think of Old Republic,
yeah,
right? It's like, okay, here's this new storyline so you buy that pack, and it loads into Destiny.
okay,
And it turns into a huge game, but it's
Well-
like I said, I enjoy it.
I'll
I
give it a
enjoy
shot.
playing it.
Yeah, because I'm looking for something new, and I'm not really looking for a Call of Duty type of thing, but this, like a Destiny, like a futuristic shooter, is
Yeah.
definitely right up my
Because there's
alley.
definitely the people that like they don't want to shoot humans in the face. They'd rather shoot aliens,
I'll shoot a human in the face, but
yeah, but some people that's not their thing.
yeah,
Like it doesn't bother me.
yeah,
I came to terms with that long ago. Like that's not don't say that. You shouldn't say these things out loud, Dave. The inside voice turns into your outside voice.
Mhm. Oh yeah, I've been
It's
there.
like, yeah. You have to come to terms with ending a human's life,
Yeah,
right? You just do. So it doesn't bother me when I see it for that and see it other places.
mm-hmm.
So I don't care about that. I'd rather play something that's more fun. I like the zombies more
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's more like, I don't know, interesting.
Sure,
I'd rather that be a little bit more dynamic because humans don't die appropriately in a Call of Duty game. They just don't.
yeah,
Like even in the realistic modes, it's not. Anyway, let's get off of this.
all right, that's fine.
But Destiny 2.
all right,
look for that, and I think you won't be disappointed.
All right, I will give you a report next week. Last thing for me is the Philly Fan Expo that we were talking about earlier. I'm going to be there.
Yes.
I'm definitely going to be there for most of the day on Saturday. Might show up on Sunday also, depending on how much I get done. But for those of our friends that are going to be there, look for me in either the John Boyega line or the Manny Jacinto line, the guy who played the bad guy in Acolyte.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be in one of those lines getting autographs. So yeah, look for me there, and I'll be floating around a bit. Probably make my way over to the Reading Terminal Market for some lunch.
Yeah, I know when Vickers and I went last year, we encountered Jason and Bob like in between lines that they were going to stand in. Like that was their mission set.
Yeah.
Right. For me, it was I wanted to, what was my thing? Oh, I was Adam Savage.
Yeah.
That was my sole purpose in life, was to go and test out my cosplay, which I still haven't fucking modded my helmet yet.
Oh, with like the fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I look at it. I stare at that thing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I just stare at it. I'm like, the things I want to do. And I just haven't fucking done it yet.
Oh, sidebar. Didn't you say you'd be interested in a Cassian Andor figure in the fucking TIE Fighter gear?
Yes.
Because they have that. That actually exists.
What?
Yeah. I didn't realize. I was just scrolling through Black Series figures and I saw the Andor and the TIE Pilot outfit. Yeah. So it's out there.
The newest one?
Yeah. Yeah.
On what? What's
I don't know.
You see something like that, you send me the link, Jason. That's what happens next. Or you just buy it and I give you money.
Yeah. I probably could have done that. But
just be like, oh, wow, that would be interesting for Dave. Scroll.
I think I was at work at the time, which it's not as easy to do all that from work.
Text Dave. Hey, you should look at this site right now.
Well,
if you can't have your phone there.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of places where I can't.
I know. I'm sensitive to that. But regardless.
Yeah, if you just go into Amazon and type in Andor Black Series, it's like the first hit is him in the TIE Fighter outfit.
Where's my cursor?
Or the test pilot outfit.
Where's my cursor?
Call it.
Where's my cursor? Seriously, do you see it? Oh,
yeah,
there it is. Why is it not? Okay, there it is. I'm a mess. Sorry, I apologize.
Obviously,
I'm more of a mess than usual.
Yeah. Just seriously type in type in Andor Black Series and it'll come right up.
Amazon, you said, right?
Correct.
We're going to do this right now because otherwise it'll get away from me. Not that
we're doing it live, folks.
Not that Kathy would mind that it got away from me. We're doing Andor.
Ooh, it's in a pretty sweet box too. Hey.
Andor
Black Series.
The first thing that came up for me was a Luthen Rail Funko.
Oh, well then type in test pilot also.
Cassian Andor, sign our test pilot. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, and also I saw your Ronin figure, the Black Series Ronin, recently as well.
Ooh. That I can probably hold off on. This.
Yeah, it's on Amazon for $70.
Yeah, I'm not spending $70. This is reasonable.
Yeah.
I'll get this now before it gets unreasonable.
All right, I'm sure this has been fucking just
no. This is what
engrossing
happens
for the audience.
This is exactly what they expect, Jason. They expect nothing less.
All right.
We've been doing this for how long? Like this is exactly what they expect.
Yeah.
Like if we didn't do this, they'd be like, "What? Where did Jason and Dave go?" Like the alien encounter that happened that took them from us.
Yeah. But that's it for my week. I'll have a lot more to report next week.
Yeah.
Post Philly Fan Expo.
Yeah, god damn it. I'm sad I'm missing it, honestly. But I have the air show this weekend.
Yes.
The
We've
past
been building up to for a while now.
Yeah, it went into full drive last week.
Mm.
Like I left here after the show, and then like I've been in my air show office, which I say that it's in a separate building and everything. Like it's one of those places that I have to go into that office to get out of the other office. Otherwise, they'd be pulling me in other directions, and I just would be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So it is exactly what I wanted, because there's problem solving and it's dynamic and all this other stuff, and I'm getting this like kind of insider's view of what's going on. But the jadedness of some of these idiots and their inability to make decisions is just it's a whole nother, like, it's unreal, dude. It is unreal. And I don't even want to get into it any further than that.
Fair enough.
But right now, for me, my major stressor is the weather.
Right.
Because it's control your controllables, and it's outside of my control, but I have to contingency plan for it.
Of course.
So
weather is important when it comes to flying.
Yeah. And, it's, for the turnout, too, because I've only been involved in this since October of last year. There's been people involved with this since December of 2023.
Right.
So that's like the air show director and the people that are in services that, like, this is all they've been doing. Most of what they've been doing. And it just kind of ramps up into, becoming a full-time thing. So it is a challenge. The base is hosting the Super Bowl on Saturday, and then it's hosting it again on Sunday.
Yeah.
And all the things that go into that you can imagine having to deal with, like infrastructure things like ambulances and aid stations and water availability and the parking and, where am I putting these airplanes? How many volunteers do we have? Do we have enough volunteers that I identified? Do we have training for them? Like all these things and all that. It is a thing. So that's going to be my weekend. And I know Lunar Girl asked in the chat about, potentially being available for dinner. I'm staying the night up there. It's a 5:30 a.m. showtime basically for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to be working until 8:00.
Damn.
So it's a long day. Yeah. I'm not driving all the way back here to get up in the morning and go back.
Right.
Like, that's not happening. So
I'm going to stay in lodging or?
Yeah. So fortunately they had the foresight to book a lot of these rooms. So I'm paying for it, but we're taking one of the ones that was reserved, and me and a couple of the other people on the executive team are doing that, because we know it's not worth trying to, after a long day like that, trying to do the drive and then coming back first thing.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a challenge, because it's not just the weekend. It's honestly, it kind of starts Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
First airplanes come Wednesday, which I'm going to miss. So I have to have everything ready for that. And then the bulk of my work is Thursday.
Okay.
Like, all my airplanes are coming in Thursday. And like I was telling you before, it said, like, if you look at this spreadsheet I got made, it's like, got all the airplanes come in, everything's spaced out in a certain way to make sure that there's no overlap with an airplane going this, and I need them to come into parking all a certain way, so that we're not having to tow a bunch of airplanes in. And it's a house of cards that the weather could very easily blow down. So we'll fix it in post. It's happening. It's going to happen one way or the other. So,
and I'm sure we'll hear all about it next week.
Oh yeah. If I may be a puddle, you're going to pour me into the seat, but it'll be a thing. So that, unfortunately, is why I'm going to miss seeing the guys and getting to enjoy Philly Fan Expo. But I encourage all of you that are in the area to go. It was a lot of fun last year.
Yeah.
I definitely would be doing it again, and I would definitely go in costume at least one of the days, just because it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun to like be a TIE pilot for a day.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be a TIE pilot with circulation in a fucking helmet.
Yeah, it's always important.
So I mentioned I'm not going to be there on Wednesday to catch a couple of the airplanes because I'm going to be at Rowan University watching Kathy get her diploma.
That's right.
She is graduating
Woo!
with her bachelor's degree. Yes, everyone applaud. She has worked so fucking hard to get this, and it's been one of her goals, and I'm so proud of her for getting through it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So many times, you get to that point, it's like that. You're doing it to yourself, right? You're doing it to yourself. You don't have to do this.
Mm.
But she would have those moments, and she'd fucking bear down and get through it. And she's graduating summa cum laude.
That's great.
So
well done, Kathy.
Yeah, she killed it, and she would be the first person to tell you that she didn't work that hard, or she'll try and say that everyone else around her, like, yeah, when she needed help, she asked for help, which is a perfectly reasonable thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so many people don't ask for help, right? Which is insane.
Right.
Like, that's what we do. Like, why would I ask for help? I'm not asking for help. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather the fear of failure is what's going to keep me from fucking asking for help.
Right.
Whereas for her, the failure was not an option.
Mm.
So, which is fantastic, and it's a testament to that. Whatever age you are, if you have a goal like that, fucking, it can happen.
Do it.
Make the sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice of your time. It's a financial sacrifice, but once you get there, it's the reward. I mean, I know for me, when I finally finished mine, I'd look up on the wall and be like, fuck, man, it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. So I encourage everyone out there to take a page out of Kathy's playbook and, set your goals high and fucking just keep pushing.
Hell yeah.
And you'll get there. So I'm really proud of her. I'm glad that I'm able to take leave and see her walk on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And
that's awesome.
What's really funny too, so I was on the phone with a bunch of people today for air show stuff, and like a couple of people was like, "Oh yeah, well we see you on Wednesday." I'm like, "No, actually you're not. I'm doing my wife's graduating, so I'm gonna watch her walk." And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's way more important." I'm like, "Yeah."
At least they acknowledge that.
Yeah. So,
instead of, "Oh, so you're gonna show up to work after that," or
yeah, no, it's a universal truth. It's like, no, that's super important, and it is. So can't say enough how proud I am of her for getting that stuff done. And for whatever reason, she says I helped her finish it. So she said, all right, well, because you helped, I'm gonna let's go buy a Lego. And I said, okay.
Nice.
So we went and got this guy.
Well, this is timely.
Yeah, how Andor appropriate, right?
I know. Check it out. It's the U-Wing.
It's a U-Wing. And I'll tell you what, man, from a conceptual point from Andor itself, like, or from Rogue One, I wasn't a huge fan of this ship.
Right.
But I can tell you that this build, like, it was a good build.
I love the engines.
The engines were cool. Like, so it actually, like, these fold back.
Oh, sweet.
So it has the pivot and it folds, folds into its like battle scarred or galactical looking thing, right? So it has that, and so the cargo compartment opens, and it came with a little
Oh shit!
K2SO.
Look at that.
And someone else.
Oh,
It's Deidre.
is it?
Yeah.
Why would she be?
Well, she's part of the show.
Yeah.
So Deidre and another random ISB agent with a gun and a shield
Yeah.
came with it. So I shoved them in a cargo compartment for benefit of the show.
Sweet.
So,
So this is from Andor then.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is brand new to this year.
Okay.
This set.
Nice.
So yeah, I was like when I saw it. Oh, and then you have Cassian.
Yeah.
So here's what I really like of what Lego's been doing lately
Mhm.
with their new builds. They've always been clever, right?
Mhm.
And there's if you're into Lego at all, you're following a bunch of master builders that are doing stuff at Legoland and things like that.
Mhm.
And they just some of the stuff I'll like screenshot of and try and build, and just like how the fuck did they come up with this? Like,
Yeah.
I'm always amazed at their level of imagination and engineering. So things like, okay, the canopy. Now that looks like it's kind of a pain in the ass to open, right?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of down there, like get your finger.
Mhm.
Or you can put just a little button right here, boop,
Ah.
and it cracks the canopy open.
Nice.
So you can open it, and then you can get Cassie and Andor out of there. So you can take a look at that guy, stubble and all.
Oh yeah, got the nice mustache going
Yep,
on.
Inigo Montoya in the
A little blurry.
flesh, Lego flesh. But yeah, it's stuff like that that I really appreciate, and like the blasters, like it has two. I'm pointing at you.
Yeah, I
even
can
though
see 'em.
shouldn't. So they're empty right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were loaded in the car, but as soon as I grabbed them, of course, fucking went off in the car. But when they're loaded up, it actually these compress. So when I push this, it shoots them off.
Nice.
So just neat little things. It's got like weapon storage in the back there. Yeah, just
That's great.
And this actually comes open too, but this one doesn't have a fancy opening bit, or if it does, I haven't figured it out yet.
Mm-hmm.
But that actually leads open too. So lots of light can get in there, so you can actually see into the compartment more.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so stoked. Thank you to my amazing wife who is letting me continue to breed this habit.
Yep.
So I think I mentioned last week that I got this.
Yeah.
So I brought it in
Oh,
to talk about or to show
Yeah.
because I wanted to. Yeah, it's another
Rat straw. Nice. Oh.
Oh,
there
yeah,
we go.
there
Okay.
it
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta figure it out how to
To do the Star Killer.
do the layout to make Star Killer, because there is some complicated like things they're doing with the curves to make that happen. And then here's like the piece. You take this guy off, and then inside there,
Oh, is that a little Star Destroyer?
yeah, and
What's the other thing? Oh, it's the Tantive.
yeah, it's a blockade runner.
Yeah.
Little Easter egg in the top.
That's cute.
So, yeah, this is fucking really cool.
Is that going on your desk?
At home.
Okay.
So, the John was over,
Uh-huh.
and he left this and probably something else that I'm also forgetting, but I forgot this last week and I remembered it this week.
Mhm.
So he brought this for the studio.
We got an action figure. Oh shit. IG-12 Grogu and an Enzelin in the 3 3/4 inch
Yeah.
style.
And he said we are more than welcome to open it since it's not a Black Series. And
yeah. Grogu's so small. So small.
My penis so smooth.
little baby Grogu penis.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you, John.
Yeah. It'll be a nice addition to the there's a couple of 3 3/4
Yeah.
floating around.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's we're gonna have to start talking about Mandalorian again here sooner than later.
Yeah. Yeah, because the movie's coming in a year.
Mm-hmm. But
Bronco Fett says, "Open it."
So
We
last but not least, again, my wife has been amazing for supporting my Star Wars habit.
Mhm.
Even though she talks bad about it, I think she secretly likes it. So I think I showed on around Christmas time. I got this bag, like this heroes and villains bag.
Yes.
And so she saw another like Facebook targeted ad or whatever
Mm-hmm.
for another bag, and she got it for me.
Oh boy.
And check this thing out. It's what I used to bring in the laptops today.
Holy hell. Sorry. Oh man. Twin ion engine TIE Starfighter.
Yeah, so it's like a
Did it come with the pins?
No, I put the pins on.
Okay.
But it's a Sidebar Fleet Systems like satchel
Yeah.
for putting a laptop in and stuff.
It's got the Empire logos on it right there.
Yeah, notice the pattern work there. Looks like TIE wings.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah. So what it reminded me of is like, you know how you would go to the junkets like for Lockheed or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and they would give you like giveaways like
Swag.
swag bags and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's what this reminded me of. Like, oh, we went to a TIE pilot, a Sidebar Fleet Systems junket, and we got these bags, right? So that's exactly like, hey, I'm a TIE pilot, and I showed up to this junket, and all I got was this bag.
Right.
But it's built like a brick shithouse, man. Like the straps are fucking legit. These are like, they feel like seatbelt straps.
That's what they look like from here too.
Yeah. It came with another thing that like Molly attached to this, but I didn't like it. It kind of got into my face. It's got like the pockets. The pockets are nice and lined
Mm-hmm.
with a soft felt like material. Same with the interior one in here for like an iPad.
Yeah.
It's somewhat small.
My penis so smooth.
So you're not putting it fits my laptop here. This is what, 15 inches.
Yeah.
It fits into the main compartment. Fine.
Right.
It doesn't fit into like this is like iPad size only.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's still it fits it perfectly fine. Like it's like I said, it's built like a brick shit house. There's all these little like just nooks and crannies on it. It's just a cool little bag.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
So this will be my my show bag for like, okay, it's show day. Fucking put the laptop in, get the iPad. That way I'm not hauling the fucking whole backpack in here every time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
Very nice.
there's some good fucking Star Wars shit out there, man. It's a good time to be alive and be a Star Wars fan.
Indeed it is, because I think our main topic is up next.
It is up next.
All right, because we have got some Andor to talk about, and holy fuke.
Yeah.
We too low. Bang ding ow.
What?
Do you remember that Asian crew that crashed in California years ago? Only one fatality on the ground, but they came in and the ass fucking hit the fucking.
Are you talking about the It was in San Francisco.
Yeah.
They hit the bulkhead.
Yeah.
It was a 777, and it was a budget Asian airline. Asiana
Yeah.
was the airline.
Yeah, and then there was a news story later that we have the names of the pilots from the
That's yeah.
and the pilot, and of course, like for somehow this made the air, and like one of the pilots' names was Wee Too Low, Ho Lee Fook, Bang Ding Ow, and this made the fucking air.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was good times.
Yeah. That's why the local media should not do these releases. They should just let the NTSB do it. Because at least the NTSB has some sense.
I know. It's good shit. Anyway, the Holy Fook is what made me think of that whole thing.
That, man, thinking about that crash, there was so much, obviously, it was pilot error, and there's so much wrong that happened.
Oh, yeah.
But it was one of those from a structures thing, because structures was kind of my thing for undergrad, aircraft survivability.
Right.
And it just went to show that that's what it's designed to do.
Yeah.
Like, the airplane is designed to have a survivability of a certain aspect of like this type of crash. Like, okay, it's going to absorb this level of G-force. It's going to do this. Yeah, it's going to be ugly, but people are going to live.
Yeah.
You're going to live, and you're going to be able to get any hole's an exit, right? Just like we brief in a passenger brief, right? Any hole becomes an exit.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. There were large holes because the fuselage fucking separated. But yeah, it was a good accident to study as far as survivability goes. Speaking of, I've been neglecting the Discord because I don't know if has been any recent questions in the Discord for the Ask the AMA for aviation related stuff.
Oh, I have no idea.
I have a thing in there for the Discord channel. Luna Girl have to tell me.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, let's get to some Andor.
Let's get some Andor.
So we start off with episode 7, and I should have wrote these episode names down. This one is Messenger, and it starts off again 1 year later. We're now at 2 BBY, and we start off right there on Yavin 4, the fucking rebel base. Everything's hopping, things are happening.
Yep,
and yeah, it's good times.
The buildup is happening. Like the color and feel of it looks like Andor.
Yeah,
like it looks like Rogue One rather. So it's like, okay, we're getting there. So it's very deliberate in its effect.
Oh yeah,
this is what we want it to look like. We don't want it to look like it did. This isn't, how you see it in the original trilogy. Like, this is how you see it in Rogue One.
Right.
So cage yourself to that.
Yeah.
Which I think is perfect for telling us what year it is. I love that. It's like, I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing now.
And it's great that it's, they're actually starting to put together an actual army and an actual structure to the rebellion. And like Vel said later on in the episode, they're not just individuals doing Luthen's bidding. Now they're an actual organization,
right?
Which is great. It's getting us closer and closer to that Rogue One point where the two are going to combine. Boop, 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 boop. Yep. Boop, boop, boop. And we go to no more of that. That's
My penis so smooth.
that finished the last
It did.
3 episodes.
Although in the beginning, you do get a little flashback to it.
True.
Yeah, so you get a little.
Yeah.
Okay, in case you missed it.
Yeah, this is what you missed. Go back and rewatch. Cassian has a shoulder injury. We see him on his front porch. He's got this new little shack in the jungle that he shares with Bix. And he's stretching out a blaster wound he's got in his shoulder.
There, do you notice that they enjoy an open floor plan on every one of their little huts that they occupy? Like when they were on the farm planet, it was kind of the same thing. It was like, okay, here's this open saucer area with like the circa 1970s fucking sunken living area, and then the, birthing areas around it. It all seems this very similar.
Yeah, it's probably Bix, because when they go house shopping on Yavin, Bix is like, nah, it doesn't have the open floor plan, and Cassian's like, fuck, come on, I just want a place to live.
Damn it. I just want to lay down. I'm so tired.
Right. But yeah, so he's stretching out his shoulder when the terrorist kid shows up. Right. And I finally learned his name these 3 episodes. It's Will, short for Willman. Willman, I think, is his full name. But Will for short.
Will not live for... Well,
he'll make it through these episodes.
He make it through, yeah. But
something tells me he's
gonna...
He's not much longer for this world.
He can't. There's no way.
Yeah, because there's a lot of shit that's got to go down.
He's sucking on Darjeeling or whatever the fuck that gas is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he shows up and basically delivers a mission to Cassian from Luthen.
Yeah.
So, even though they're at Yavin, they're under their whole new structure and everything, Luthen is still trying to, do his thing and send people on these little missions here and there.
So I think, how we, in Rogue One, Saw Gerrera is like this outlier, right? Because he's out, he's causing trouble, and they look at him as a problem to the rebellion.
Yes.
Not necessarily a help. And I think we're starting to get this idea that Luthen is in that same realm.
Yeah, absolutely. I got that same feeling as I was watching these.
So it's not that they're going to tell him to stop doing it, but at the same time, they're also not going to condone it.
Right. And they tried to keep Cassian from actually leaving.
Right. Because they want him to, like, the dude's lucky as fuck. Right, because he's like having a rabbit's foot. Like, all right, keep that lucky rabbit's foot around, because fucking otherwise people get shot in the face.
Right. Well, eventually he's gonna lose that rabbit's foot.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna stick it right up his own ass.
But I mean, he does fulfill his destiny.
Indeed.
Fulfill your destiny.
So after Cassian leaves and tells that guy. So we got the that old general guy in the rebellion. I don't know if he's a general, but the same guy that tells Cassian in Rogue One, like, if you get a shot at Galen Erso, you fucking take it.
Right.
That guy is also there on Yavin now. Looks exactly the same.
To me, he's like he's the J4 guy. He's the intel guy.
Okay.
To me, so when we see him in Andor, like, he's been elevated to the head of that department, right? So espionage, like doing the wet work, and also just SIGINT and all that other stuff. Like, all that intel shit falls under him.
Yeah,
based on the structures we see it.
Now, don't we, when we meet Cassian for the first time in Rogue One, doesn't Mon Mothma introduce him as like the head of their intelligence, head of Rebel intelligence? I feel like they did.
Oh, not Cassian, the other guy?
No, Cassian.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Huh. All right. Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, so I'd have to go back and look.
think Cassian was introduced as somebody who was in the field, but not as the lead guy.
Okay. Fair enough.
They don't treat him like the lead guy. Like, you don't, if he's the head of that department, he doesn't go on a ship to go on a fucking, you're not doing that work. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like,
Like the stuff that he
you
was doing. in
send
Rogue
people
One.
to go do that work,
Right.
not go do it yourself.
Okay, makes sense. Oh, and Luthen's plan that he had for his mission that he had for Cassian was essentially to assassinate Dedra.
Right.
Yeah, because she's in charge and is very visible now in Gorman.
Yeah, the terrorist kid's like, hey, she's out in the open. She's hanging out on the fucking balcony.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now's the chance.
Yeah.
Like, we can go shoot her in the face.
Yeah, not that it really would have mattered in the long run because the Empire had their plan and they were going to execute it regardless.
Mm-hmm.
But, symbolically, I guess it would have been.
Well, this is, as we fast forward, how prescient Cassian was to, I said that weird, how prescient he was to what was going on there. To say
On
like,
Gorman?
Yeah, to be like, no, we don't want this.
Yeah.
We don't want to be involved here. Because whether they had been involved in it or not, the Empire was going to instigate what they did.
Yes.
Like, they were going to somehow rile the people up to the point where they fucking started, doing something.
Mm.
Like, they were going to find weapons and they were going to start, something.
Right.
Spoiler alert. But I really think that Andor was, we're getting an idea that, like, the dude's instincts are really, really good.
Yeah.
And then when he walks into this, he goes like, we don't want anything to fucking do with this.
Mm-hmm. Because then, fast forward a year
Yeah.
and you see why.
Yeah. And it's interesting. As we get to the healer, which is like kind of the next scene
Mm-hmm.
with this force healer.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have obviously it's not a Jedi.
No.
Right. It's kind of, it's just somebody who's in tune with the force.
Yep.
And he thinks it's a load of malarkey.
Right.
Because apparently he's run into something like this before. I said malarkey. That's funny.
Yeah, but Bix is determined because she sees that his wound is not healing.
Right.
And she's like, you need to get some fucking help for this.
Right.
And he's, being the man, like, nah, I'm fine. Blah, blah,
No,
blah.
it's good. It's fine.
I'll just work it out.
Gangrene. It's fine.
Yeah.
It'll eat itself off. It's all good.
Hmm.
I guess back to his short supply.
Maybe.
Antibiotics and shit like that.
Empire tracks all those shipments, so
And they probably do.
people at the Bureau of Standards, track it and figure out if it's going to a rebel base or not.
I mean, yeah. So anyway, with the force healer, what I was getting at was when she interacts with him and she thanks him for giving her perspective.
Yeah.
Right, because he sees like basically what his destiny is. I think she sees everything that's in front of him,
Mm-hmm.
like up to and including the end of it.
Right.
Right. And I think for Bix, she saw Bix's end as well.
Oh.
Because when they made contact with each other, you saw the healer kind of shrink away after they made contact.
I didn't catch that part.
Yeah, and I think she saw what happens with Bix to not be like the healer says, maybe you're the one that he's here for.
Yeah.
And then after they make contact, the healer kind of pulls away.
Mm.
Like she saw that, oh, you're going to make this decision where you're not going to be a part of this.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. And over on Gorman, like shit's going crazy. The Empire has really tightened their grip. They've really started locking down the place.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's all these fucking news reports that are going on about, a terrorist attack that had happened just the night before at like some naval facility.
Right.
Which later on we go to Cyril and he's like, I can't even get into that fucking place. So basically it's the Empire probably are the ones that did the bombing themselves.
Yeah.
To frame the Gorman resistance.
Right. Like the propaganda machine is in full force.
Oh yeah.
And this is what Deidre told. It's what she said to fucking Chisel Chest. What the
Cyril.
No, in the meeting, in the secret meeting.
Oh, Krennic?
Yeah. He said, this is what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
Like, this is the plan. They're executing her plan.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that plan is going to be setting themselves, like, they're going to have to blow up some of their own shit.
Mm-hmm.
And Cyril can't know about it because he'd fucking, could potentially get his butt hurt and, feel some kind of way about it.
Yeah. And you almost wonder, like is he feeling now for the resistance, for the Gorman resistance? Because, from his point of view, all he was supposed to be doing was rooting out these potential outsiders that are influencing the Gorman resistance.
Yeah.
And now that he's starting to see like what's actually going on, he's gaining some sympathy for them. And, he has these confrontations with Deidre where he's asking her, like, what the fuck is going on? Because it's very obvious at this point that shit is not right.
Well, I don't know if see, this one's tough because we saw in the last sequence, or in part 2, we saw how excited he was to be a part of the plan, right? And now that the plan's in execution, I think he realizes that he's not really a part of this plan like he thinks he is.
Yeah.
And because he's playing both sides and that's part of his role,
mm-hmm.
I think he's trying to maybe soften that blow. Like, hey, I'm still trying to do my part, right?
Yeah.
But that actively, when other shit is happening, I can't do my part.
Mm-hmm.
Is the impression that I got.
Yeah,
and he was being lied to.
Right. And we find out that he's sort of on the outs anyway with the Gorman resistance when he tracks down the one gal, the daughter,
right,
in the back alley, and she fucking slaps him.
Right.
When he's like trying to tell her, like, hey, I figured out a way we can get out of this, by blaming outsiders, she just fucking slaps him and leaves.
Right. Yeah, she should have pulled out a rape whistle and fucking got the guards after him.
Oh, she's not the one that needed the rape whistle, but we'll get into that when we get into the next episode.
Dude, I fucking sidebar. So Kathy, one of her coworkers, had a going away, and it was at a local place,
mm-hmm.
and they were doing karaoke, and apparently one of the patrons had a bag of safety whistles that he was handing out to the girls,
mm-hmm.
and like then he went up and did the karaoke, and they obviously were like, they knew the guy was kind of weird,
right?
But who fucking has a bag of rape whistles with them? Like, who carries that around?
A rapist.
Yeah, right. Like,
see,
like, why would you be like, hey, I want you to be safe. Here's a rape whistle.
Yeah.
Right. Why?
I'm not a rapist, but here you go.
Yeah. I'm not thinking about rape all the time. So here's a whistle. Like, here.
Yeah.
So, have a little whistle. How'd that song go? Never mind. There's a Disney song that has
the whistle while you work.
No.
Okay.
It's a different one. Anyway, regardless. Yeah, it was like fucking she knew it was weird, and like so did other people, but it was just like, I can't imagine as a dude, like if somebody was walking around handing out fucking rape whistles.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, bro. Like, unless you're like even like an 85-year-old man, I'd still be like, you need to stop.
Mm.
You need to stop handing out fucking whistles. Like, come on, bro. Come on, buddy. Come on. It just,
yeah.
Anyway, what the hell is going on?
So anyway,
rape whistles.
Yeah. Cyril goes and confronts Deidre, and he's like, there's rumors of these fucking, these ships landing, and what are we really here for? And at this point, she's just like, everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna go home to Coruscant. We're gonna be together. And she gives him this fucking weird kiss,
right?
And kind of tells him to go pack his shit and be ready to leave
Right.
at her order.
Yeah, she had just because she came right out of the fucking the Maxwell Smart fucking closet.
Right, where she was basically just told like 48 hours we're going,
Right.
no matter what.
This shit's happening.
Yeah.
And Deidre's like, well, what about Cyril? And they're like, he can't fucking know anything about it. And she had to like, she had to put on the appropriate face, which she's having more and more difficult time of doing.
Yeah. Which and it's so interesting too, because we've been watching these two for better part of 2 seasons, and it's so weird seeing how much she still wants this relationship with Cyril.
Does she though?
Yeah, because like she's always even after their discussion in the next episode, she still tells him like, hey, you wanted to be together. This is our chance. We can be together. We'll go back as heroes.
I don't know. We'll talk more about that here in a minute.
Okay, I'm telling you, she's got it for Cyril. He must have a huge cock or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
My penis so smooth.
And yeah, we're flashing back to all of these fucking news reporters that are talking about everything that's going on, and you could just tell like shit is on at the boiling point.
Yeah.
Where things are gonna fucking go nuts here any minute.
Yeah, a highly, highly, highly effective propaganda machine.
Yes. And we go to the Gorman Resistance. They're in fucking disarray as well, because they know that they're being set up with some of this stuff, but also they still want to, push against the Empire, while the main guy, the old guy, is starting to preach like silent resistance.
Right.
Because he kind of feels like he knows what's coming.
Yeah. Like it's being forecast. Like this is what they want us to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He sees it, but they're too busy being revolutionaries.
Right. Because they're younger. They're kids.
Right.
They're not seeing the big picture.
Right. Who in Les Mis was all the fighters. It was almost all it was all the youth.
Yeah.
They're the ones that fucking, made the barricades and everything else.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's, the older, more seasoned guy who's looking at the situation going, oh, fuck.
This isn't... my name is Jean Valjean, and this is dumb. We need to not be doing this.
Right.
And I'm going to go. Go ahead, have your party, but I'm going to go.
Mm-hmm. We flash over to Cassian later on, and his shoulder is actually getting better.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what else happened in that scene.
Bix called him out on it. She's like, oh, it's getting better, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then they had some back and forth. I forget what. It was important too, and I don't remember I don't remember the gist of it.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
The next day, Cassian leaves, and this is when he tells that guy who is, from Rogue One, like, I'm gonna still come and go as I want. I don't.
Right.
The day I have to, report to you and not do what I want is the day that I leave or whatever.
Right.
And the guy's like, well, we're getting pretty close to that point. So, but he still left to go on Luthen's mission.
Yeah, it was that whole exchange was kind of interesting.
Well, I can see it from the perspective of the rebellion, right? Because they're trying to develop a military structure, right? They're trying to have order and discipline throughout this new organization,
right,
where obviously they're new at it and they're still figuring things out.
Right.
And he wants Cassian to be one of the soldiers that falls in line, does what he's told, stays back and helps them and not go on his own missions.
Yeah. I think there's a Luthen aspect to it, though, that we'll come to find out. There's as much to that. Like, Luthen is in too much control of that. They at Yavin, they know they need Cassian.
Yeah.
They need his ability and his expertise.
Yeah, and his experience. He's been doing this for a while now.
Yeah, he's their most experienced field agent, really.
Yeah.
Aside from Luthen and his girl, like, what's her name?
Oh, Clea.
Clea, straight hair, all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Clea.
Yeah. It's some of the women in Star Wars, they like to change their outfit every scene, change their hair.
Oh my fucking God. What was I watching?
Attack of the Clones?
Yeah. Every fucking screen, every time the screen went from one shot to another, she was in a different outfit.
Yeah, Natalie Portman.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? It's dizzying how many times she had to change. Like, I would, if it were me, I'd be like, can I just wear this?
Yeah.
Just one more time?
And her hair is always different too.
Right. God, so much hair and makeup. I hope she made so much money. Anyway.
Yeah. So and he takes off in the U-wing, the
Yep.
the U-wing that you just showed off in Lego form, which I thought that was pretty cool. That was a nice callback to Rogue One. And then Vel shows up, so she's there on Yavin as well. She's all in on the rebellion army and everything, and she basically tells Bix like, "Hey, Cassian's important. He was going to get promoted, and then he pulls that bullshit this morning.
Yeah.
Can he have just a little bit of discipline?" And Bix wasn't really buying it. She's like, "He'll be there when you need him."
Right. Because to this point, he has not been there.
Yeah.
Right. He's always seemed to have been in the right place. And so much so, if we fast forward, Luthen actually says it. This is one of those things that there's a word for it in writing, where we see this happening and then like it's actually brought up in dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
But Luthen actually is validating this fact that like Cassian just seems to be where he needs to be,
right?
For things to go right.
Yeah.
And this is no exception.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking at something real quick.
Is this is still episode 7?
Yeah, we're still on that, but we're close to the end. Because I'm looking at my notes, and really, after Vel confronts Bix, the curfew on Gorman goes off, and this is when like Cyril meets the one gal in the back alley, and she basically tells him to fuck off and slaps him. And then we flash over to Cassian checking into the hotel, and it's that same hotel employee as before when he checked in.
Yeah,
the last series of episodes, the guy who's part of the Gorman Resistance. And Cassian's just in the hotel room, and that's sort of where the episode fades to black. Is he's in the hotel room looking out as the Imperial has this whole lockdown on that main square in the plaza there.
It gives you a good look at, okay, this is what the lockdown looks like right now.
Mm-hmm.
Then in the next episode, you see how much more the lockdown is.
Yeah,
like every time you looked at Gorman, there were more stormtroopers, there was more barricades, shit like that.
Yep. And that's pretty much where episode 7 ended.
So I'm gonna. This is where, after episode 7, there's no more innocence. Like I really think that we're at the point now, because this happened in season 1.
Yeah,
there was a point where it's just like there's no more innocence in this show. Like it's just going to be death, and just you're going to, after every episode, you're going to feel like, oh my fucking God.
Yeah.
And I think we just snapped the fucking chalk line for that. Because I think episode 8 and 9 is where I felt that. I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And then episode 9 I was like, whoa, fuck. I can't imagine, because we only have the 3 left after this, right? So it's
and shit's gonna have to go down in those 3 episodes, because we're gonna lose a lot more.
Yeah, it's about to go down.
Yeah,
but yeah, I was talking to somebody today about it. I was like, yeah, are you watching Andor? And they're like, yeah, but the first, I'm at a point now where I've seen the first, like 4 or 5 episodes of Andor. And, it's going. But I just haven't gotten there yet. I'm like, dude, it'll get there.
Yeah,
you just need to get through it. Just go. And
yeah, that's just setting the pieces.
Yep.
Putting everything in place.
And they knew it. They weren't like they weren't trashing it for that. It just was like it was just that little bit of a grind
Mm-hmm.
that we had in season 1 also.
Yeah.
I remember it distinctly. And then there wasn't.
Yeah.
There wasn't no more grind.
Yeah.
It was just punching the dick every fucking 10 seconds. Like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
So
and I think we're at that point. Yeah.
Here we fucking go.
Yeah, it's dick punches from here on out.
Straight into the dick.
My penis is so smooth.
So yeah, episode 8. This one is called. Well,
Who Are You?
It's called Who Are You? But really, what I like to refer to this one as is Cyril Karn going to have to choke a bitch?
Yes.
Because, man, so much happens in this episode. And what's cool about it is it only takes place on Gorman.
Yeah.
Like, we don't get any flashes of Luthen. We don't get anything of Mon Mothma. Nothing.
No Bix. This is just straight the shit going down at fucking on the planet.
Yep. And, we start back on Gorman, and Cassian's in his hotel room preparing. He's putting together his secret.
Preparing. Just go.
Putting together his secret sniper weapon that was in his suitcase.
Right.
Checking outside to see what the Imperial situation is, and he can see through like a little mirror that there's Imperials like right above him.
Yeah, because you can hear the voice, right? You hear the
stormtrooper chatter.
The stormtrooper. It's the stormtrooper voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like it's so nice. It's so nice that Star Wars does Star Wars things.
Yeah.
It just.
And the stormtroopers, like, you can kind of hear the dialogue too, and they're
Right.
just bullshitting about stuff.
Yeah, it's troopers just bored,
Yeah,
but they're on the high ground.
they are.
Right, they're on the roof.
Yep.
And so it's like there's a tactical advantage there,
Mm-hmm.
and they're obviously they're armed,
Right.
but they're relaxed enough where they're just talking normally.
Yeah, because right now, there's nothing going on.
Right.
But that's going to change here very soon.
Mm-hmm.
And the Empire starts moving the barricades that are in the plaza there.
Right.
Because at first they were blocking the whole plaza off, right? Because I guess, people couldn't go in and...
You had to be on like Imperial business.
Yeah.
Like Cyril could get in with his credentials
mm-hmm.
and, whoever, but...
Yeah, so what they started doing was they started pulling back the barricades from the general plaza entrances and started fortifying their little Imperial building that's in the plaza.
Right.
And this, this has the Gormans thinking like, oh, they've reopened the plaza, so now we're gonna go protest because were news reports that morning of like, there's rumors of a protest that's gonna be happening here and
Right.
blah blah blah. And
just feeding into the propaganda.
yep.
It's a self-licking ice cream cone
Mhm.
at this point.
But I mean, it worked to perfection from the Empire's point of view.
Because it is effective. I mean, this is what propaganda is. I mean, everyone who's watching this and enjoying it, fucking, I want you to take a moment and understand what you're watching this as entertainment, but the reality is this is how fucking propaganda works.
Yeah.
This is at its core how it fucking works. Right? Take it from people that have been trained to recognize and defeat it.
Mm-hmm.
That this is what propaganda is. Recognize this in real life and use that knowledge to affect your decision
Right.
before you say dumb shit or post dumb shit. Because you are feeding into the propaganda.
Yeah, you're Cyril's mom.
Right. You are, or you're the revolutionaries that all they want to fucking do is like, oh no, we're going. Like, yes, you are feeding into the same shit. That's exactly what they want you to do because you're buying into it. That's exactly what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And you're too blinded by this idea, this concept of revolution that you're right to stand back and go like, what if I'm not?
Mm-hmm.
What if this is what they want us to do? Let's take a moment.
Yeah.
think about it.
Which
Like-
again, these kids, they don't want to do that.
No, this is what I like so much about this fucking this episode in particular is it makes you think,
Yeah.
right? It makes you think about like this is how like I don't know how you were, but I know for me it's like fuck, this is a 300 level course in fucking propaganda.
Oh yeah.
And between that and then what happens with those other soldiers, right? Okay, we're going to do this, and then why did they emphasize that they're bringing in these like green soldiers?
Yeah.
Right? What did you think was going to happen with that?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody is going to have an accidental discharge. Somebody is going to provoke something because they don't have the experience to know that okay, this is when you're in a crowd situation like this, that like the energy ebbs and flows and you can't be reactive to it.
Right.
Like, there's certain training that you have in crowd control.
Right. Which these kids definitely did not have.
No, absolutely not. All they were was like, here's a fucking helmet, here's your glow rod, and fucking go out there and be somebody.
Yeah. And again, this is all part of the master plan. This was exactly what they wanted.
Yeah, and this sergeant was like, how did I fucking draw this duty, right? You could tell he's just like, this is fucked.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, and he even tried to tell them that, and they're like, "Well, you can spend the rest of your life in a brig if you if you don't follow orders and go get your men out there."
Fuck. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah. So the Gormans start protesting,
Yep.
right? Because they're
Right on cue.
Yep. And, they're chanting, what is it? We are the Gore. The galaxy is watching. We hear that about 3,000 times.
Right.
And they're chanting this as they're going back into the plaza. And the fucking Empire's ready. They've got the troops everywhere, all lined up. They've got the stormtroopers who are ready to block off the exit. And it's, the boiling is starting, right? They've got those the riot gear folks on standby, and it's slowly happening. Now the father sees this, and he's looking around the plaza, and he's like, "This is what they want. They're leading us right into a trap."
Yep.
And he tries to tell his daughter, she won't listen. He goes and runs into the crowd and is yelling, and nobody's listening. They're just all walking by him with doing their chants, and
Right.
he comes across Cyril during this.
Yep.
And Cyril gets pretty aggressive with him, because the guy's, starts telling him off. He's like, you fooled us this whole time. And Cyril fucking takes him and grabs him and fucking slams him against the wall. And he's like,
Right.
look, I meant you no harm.
Right.
And all of that.
Because Cyril he's in the middle of this too. Like he realized like the realization of the part he's played in this.
Yeah, he's being
And that
used just as much.
He's been played.
Yeah.
Right. The relationship with Deidre, the fucking all the things that have happened that lead him to this point. Like all of it
Mhm.
was all fake. It was all to bring this about.
Yeah.
And so he is now past the point of no return.
Yeah. And man, his whole demeanor changed in this episode.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
You already knew he was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Now he's fucking nuts.
Yeah. See, now he adds a physical aspect to that, that way that he was.
Yeah.
And we'll see more of that here in a little bit. At one point, Cassian leaves the hotel and he tells the dude like, "Hey, I'm not going to be back." And he's like, "Hey, I hope everything's going to work out for you." And this is when we get the line, "Well, rebellions are built on hope." And, we'll put a pin in that and we'll come back to that in Rogue One. Cyril almost bumps into Andor at this point.
Mhm.
They're both kind of walking through the crowd as they're chanting, and they almost bump into each other, but they don't. Cyril goes into the building, and he wants to see Dedra. Like, he's like, I need to see her. I need to talk to her, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, okay, well, first of all, you got to like go into this fucking side room for a minute while we like make
you
sure
got to calm
everything's-"
the fuck down. Go over in here.
Yeah, and we get this funny ass scene where there's a bunch of KX units in there. And they're all sitting there, and Cyril walks in, and they all just fucking look at him, and he's just kind of back against the wall. And most of them go back to looking forward. But there's one K2 unit that's just sitting there just staring at him. And it's so funny. I really like that.
Like, you're making me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Stop doing that.
Oh, yeah, it was really good, though. And yeah, then they send in the riot control, and it's kind of slow. It doesn't, blow up right away. It's a slow push through the plaza as they're trying to make like a path, because I guess their whole point is they need a path to the fucking monument in the middle.
Whatever.
Right.
Like it was whatever they're going to, like, okay, now it's time for Operation Human Shield to fucking, push them out there. Right. Everything else is in place. Channel 5 is open. Right. That's this whole thing with Channel 5.
Mm-hmm.
Which we find out later what Channel 5 is all about.
Yeah.
But so they got all the pieces in place. They're like, okay, this is happening. Like, the doomsday clock is now, fucking half a click over towards 0.
Yeah. And
Where'd it go? This way, that way.
Yeah. Cyril gets back to Dedra, and this is where I wrote, is Cyril Karn gonna have to choke a bitch?
Yeah.
Cause my God, he is fucking furious at this point.
He chokes a bitch.
Yeah. He like fucking at first he grabs her. Well, he yells at her. He's like, fucking tell me.
Right.
Like, whoa, like just him shouting like that.
Right.
Was quite a bit out of character. And then he fucking grabs her and is like, tell me what the fuck is going on. And she starts to say something. He grabs her fucking throat, starts choking her, and he says something like, if you say that that's just a rumor, I'm gonna throw you out that fucking window. And I'm like, holy shit, man.
Yeah, he's been pushed over to the edge.
Yes.
So here's where your point to like her with the relationship kind of maybe can come into play as I'm sitting here thinking about it, because why didn't she fight back harder?
Right.
She's an ISB agent. You would think that she has some form of training.
Oh, I'm sure she does.
But she also got knocked down pretty easy in the other thing too. Like she seems kind of vulnerable.
Yeah.
With that. I mean, she's not a field agent.
Right.
She's there to fucking, she's there to do the planning.
Yeah,
right?
planning, giving orders.
And that's why they even say it. Like, okay, you're here to do the fucking planning and give the orders, and then I'm the guy who's here to fucking march the fucking troops.
Yeah, it was like, I'm the finger, you're the trigger kind of thing, or vice versa.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this whole back and forth with Cyril was fucking wild.
Yeah.
And she eventually comes clean and tells him what's going on, and he fucking bounces. He's like, all right, good luck, Dedra. And he fucking leaves.
It's like, okay, that just happened.
Yeah, but after he choked her, that's when she had the line. She's like, look, you wanted to be together. We can go back to Coruscant. We'll be heroes. And so even after choking her, maybe she liked it a little bit too much.
Oh, maybe.
She's still trying to get him to, go back with her so they can be in their relationship, which very strange dynamic between those two.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
But it's over now.
Yeah. Definitively over.
Yeah. Cause he leaves, and then at this point I wrote, let the slaughter commence. Because the way they kicked this off was kind of fucked up too.
Well, so Dietrich has to pull herself together. Says, "Okay, you got a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
The big phone, right?" So she goes and basically gets the order.
Yeah.
Right. So now she's got to give the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
She's got to pull the metaphysical trigger.
Yep.
Over Channel 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it's Channel 5. I keep saying that. I don't know if it's right, but so you can tell she's like conflicted.
Yeah.
About it. Like because of whatever happened with Cyril or whatever. Like now she's unsure.
Yeah. Maybe just the weight of it all is like finally coming to her was like, I'm about to order the slaughter of
Right.
thousands of innocent people.
This is my part in this, and am I one of the baddies?
Yeah.
Having that moment of like, am I one of the bad guys? Which I don't know. I don't know how much I like that, but
Right, because I think she kind of knew, when they tortured Bix in the previous season and all that. That's not really
Yeah.
what the good guys do.
well. So you say that, and then I mean we've done it.
Well,
not us,
right. I
not
know.
individually, but it's
I know what you mean.
it's not a bridge too far. Honestly,
No. And in Saw Gerrera's case, like, he probably would be more than willing to torture anybody for
yeah.
information he needs.
As long as it's for the greater good.
Yeah.
And I think with Bix, it was way easier because they had an incident. Here's this terrorist. We're going to get information. Like it was not so. I don't even know how to describe it. The difference between the two things was like, okay, here's this mission to do,
Mhm.
and then here's this. Here, you're part of a plan that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
But when you do it, it's going to have this huge effect.
Yeah.
Across this greater enterprise, and your part in it is going to be as one of the instigators,
Mm.
and you're going to know that. You're going to know that this was instigated by you, not hey, there was terrorists that deserve to get locked up because they were doing shit, right? This was. No, we incited this and then opened up Channel 5 and then made sure that it happened.
Right. So they had a gunner on the roof.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Yep.
And she gave the order, and dude shoots into the group of the riot control guys.
Yeah, fire at will.
Yeah.
And I was surprised that was the first kill.
Yeah.
Part of me is like, I was still kind of shell-shocked after the serial choking. I expected her to be like, find his ass and shoot him.
Right.
And then they showed the sniper. I expected Cyril to be the first one to go. But he wasn't.
No, in fact, she was still like telling her people, go find Cyril and bring him back in.
Yeah.
So again,
because he did have information too.
True. Yeah, because at this point he's a liability.
Yeah.
But I think it was brilliant too, having him shoot one of the riot people first, because the next move was one of the riot guys shoots the fucking the Gorman
in the crowd.
Yeah,
the guy that was elevated, because he's the one that you could see.
Yeah, so
waving something around. So he's like, oh, it had to have been him.
Yep. So he shoots him, and that's when all hell breaks loose. And you get the shooting back and forth, and it's a long drawn out scene where you've got mostly Imperials firing on the Gorman crowd, but then you've got the Resistance folks, who brought their own blasters and everything, and they're still trying to fight off the Empire.
Yeah.
And
trying and failing. It's pigs to the slaughter for the Imperials, because they're in all elevated positions.
Right? They have the high ground.
Yeah. And they're up on the top of staircases, and they've shut off all the exits, so it's fish in a barrel, man.
Yeah.
And Cassian is on the outskirts of this, trying to just figure out his next move.
Yeah, while trying to get a shot at Deidre, he's still on that mission.
Yeah, which is odd. I thought I thought at some point it was self-preservation would have taken over.
Right. But that just shows how dedicated he is. Still focusing on the mission.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, but it's it's a brutal scene, and then it gets even worse when they call in the KX droids.
Right. Like for cleaning up. It's like, all right, come in here and fucking take care of the rest of them.
Yeah, because by this point, most of the Gorman resistance had been picked off. Most of them were down. The daughter, her boyfriend, and
Well, the daughter, no, she got killed because one of the units threw her.
That's right. Yeah.
And she fucking blunk. She claps and like,
Yeah, and it just goes to show, like, they showed off the full capability of these, KX droids when they came out there. They fucking kicked those barricades and, like, sandwiched a couple of people.
Right.
And
Right. Not just like pachoo, and then somebody goes down.
Yeah.
No, it's like, oh, I'm gonna kick this barricade into this dude. That dude gets crushed against the fucking wall.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's how that guy dies.
Yep.
And it's just brutal.
Yeah, and then they're just going, just fucking grabbing people, throwing them against the wall,
Right.
fucking throwing them on the
People
ground.
just fucking dying all over the place. Just,
Yeah.
and you're just, yeah, here we go. Everybody dies. Like, it's just, there was no way that the Empire was not going to come out on top of this.
Oh, of course, because
There
they've been
was-
planning it from the beginning.
Yeah. They had too much of an advantage.
Yeah. And after all this fighting back and forth, Cassian's still looking for Will, his buddy, the terrorist kid,
Right.
because he's there and he's like in love with one of the Gorman resistance.
He went
chicks.
native.
Yeah. So yeah, that's he's all about the vagina.
Right. The vagina. The vajayjay.
And Cyril is pretty shell shocked at this point. He's just kind of like walking through the crowd, like fucking, dead look on his face while all these people are being killed around him until he fucking sees Cassian.
Yep.
He sees fucking Cassian Andor, the thing that kicked this whole thing off for him.
Yep.
And he goes fucking nerd rage on this guy.
Yep.
Like, this fight between these two was fucking brutal, man.
Yeah.
Like, this has got to be the most brutal, like, physical fight we've seen in Star Wars.
Oh yeah, it has to have been.
Outside of lightsaber fights and
Yeah,
all that.
Just straight up fist fighting.
Yeah.
Just like, all right, I'm gonna hit you upside the head with a fucking snow globe.
Yeah. Or he's just like fucking slamming his head into the ground, and fucking hell, man, this was pretty incredible.
Fucked him up.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was. This is exactly what you would think it would be. Like, all right, that's the guy, that motherfucker right there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm going to fucking take out years of just regret and anger and just being used and everything else. It's all going to get taken out on that motherfucker's face.
Yep.
I got you, Inigo Montoya. I'll punch you in your face.
Yep. And it was Cyril kind of had the advantage until at one point a bomb blew up next door and it fucking blasted him through a window. And
well, that was the hotel kid, right?
The hotel kid one was a different bomb.
Okay.
This was another one that just happened to drop, outside that window that Cyril was standing next to after he like beat down Cassian, and it blows him. Like, you'd think he's dead at that point. And Cassian's still trying to fucking get his bearings. Cyril grabs Cassian's gun and has it pointed at him.
Right.
And that's when Cassian has the line, "Who are you?"
Yeah. And it's all right. It took me a second.
Mhm.
Right. It took me a second. Like, I'm rewinding in my head. Like, does he really not know who this dude is?
Right. And he
Like,
doesn't.
He just why is this guy so worked up?
Yeah.
Right.
He knows Dedramiro, but he doesn't know this guy.
Right. So he's at gunpoint, and he's just genuinely what?
Yeah.
Like, confused. And so when he says that, Cyril he snaps out of it.
Yeah. He hesitates a little bit. He starts to lower the gun a little bit.
It's like, what do you mean? Who am I?
Yeah.
Like, I've been so focused on you for so long, and you don't even know who I am. Like,
Mhm.
that's what it was in his head until his head was on the floor.
Yeah. When he got fucking domed.
Right. His gray matter now is bleh,
Yeah. He got fucking domed by the dad,
Right.
the guy from the Gorman Resistance.
because he hated Cyril.
Yeah, because he knew what he did to them.
Right.
And yeah, man, and that's it. Rest in peace, Cyril Karn.
Yeah.
And what a hell of a way to go out! Like, this episode.
Look, nobody in the fucking world would have predicted that that's how it was going to go.
Yeah,
Nobody.
yeah, or just his character change in this episode in general. Just getting as
Yeah.
aggressive and
Yeah, because it pivoted halfway through this. Like even after she said, "Hey, go pack your shit
Yeah.
and be ready to go," you almost think like, okay, excuse me, but he's just gonna go and fucking do what she says. She's the wears the pants in this household.
Yeah.
But apparently he was he pulled on his big boy pants that
Yep.
day until his brain got splattered all over the fucking inside of that saloon.
Yeah. And that fight with Cassian, that's one that I'm going to remember for a long time because that was
It was not your typical Star Wars fight. That is for sure. And it, again, like I said, innocence lost with Star Wars because the impact of gets into this fight, gets killed by this outsider, like this nobody who's now that's written off, right? All the Gorman are basically written off, as characters. Like we don't even think about Gorman again, honestly. But he had to go. Like Cyril had to go at some point.
Yeah.
And for him to go like this, at least he got a couple licks in before he fucking went.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something to be said for that, I guess.
Yeah, for being such a pathetic character in that first season,
right.
And even a little bit into this season, to see that change in him this episode was it's good. It's good for his character right before he met his end.
Yeah, good character arc.
Yep.
Arcing right into the fucking dumpster.
Yeah, just God, and that scene where he gets shot, just fucking boom, right in the fucking temple, just good stuff. So now at this point, Cassian and his buddy Will are trying to get the fuck out of the square there,
right?
And they do. They get out, but then you see this crowd coming out of this archway, and they're all like yelling and screaming, and then you see one person get flung to the opposite wall, and that's when you see the K2 unit coming through.
Yep.
And they're trying to run to get away from it, stopping, firing at it to no luck whatsoever. And then one of the Gorman resistance guys, fucking the dude that killed what's her name? Vel's, the girl, Cinta.
Okay.
The guy that caused that whole fight that killed Cinta. He was driving that vehicle and smashed into the KX unit and basically disabled it, cut it in half.
Right.
Maul style. And
somehow.
Yeah.
He lives.
Somehow Maul returned. So yeah, Cassian told his buddy, like, who was adamant about not leaving. He's like, this pussy is the bomb. I am not leaving it. I'm going to stay here and die on Gorman if I have to, but I am not leaving this broad. So peace.
Peace out, bitch.
Yeah. And Cassian's like, well, one last favor before you go. He looks over at the K2 droid and says,
pick that heavy thing up and fucking let's go.
Yeah. And then, he beats feet out of there. It kind of ends with this radio broadcast of the resistance people, like just basically pleading for help.
It's his girl. It's the terrorist kid's girl.
Yeah.
She's doing the broadcast.
Yep. And just pleading for help is like, anybody out there, we're being slaughtered by the thousands. And throughout this, you see Cassian driving away, tear in his eye. Then we go to Deidre and we see that scene where she's kind of like grabbing at her throat because she's
having a full blown fucking just like anxiety, panic attack, whatever. She is just having a full on meltdown.
Mm-hmm.
And she tries to pull herself together and then just falls apart again.
Yeah.
But she's in the Maxwell Smart fucking safety zone.
Yeah, so nobody can see her.
Right.
Yeah, but she's definitely feeling the repercussions of this. And the last scene of all scenes is fucking Cyril's mom watching the news reports,
crying.
Crying, and that's the last scene. That's where the episode closes out.
And it is this bit with Cyril's mom, because they show her watching the news earlier in the episode, right?
Okay,
she's watching the propaganda broadcasts about the terrorists and how much is happening, and she knows like it's just they're using her as a mnemonic for like it's over.
Yeah.
Like basically this all right. This is with Cyril's death now. This now becomes whoosh,
Yeah.
gone.
This part of the
Right.
book is closed.
Yeah, and you're supposed to like look at her and go like, yes, everything has worked.
Mm-hmm.
The people that are in a room with her, like she's watching this from afar, believing everything that's happening.
Yeah.
Right. So the galaxy now is all on lockstep with what the propaganda is.
Yep.
So that in the next episode, when now we get to the political aspect of it,
Mm-hmm.
why it's doomed to failure,
Yeah.
because the Empire's success with how much propaganda they did and how effective it was, it's evident.
Yep. And that moves us right into the last episode, and this one is called Welcome to the Rebellion.
Yeah.
And it's centered around Mon Mothma. First, it starts in the Senate, and right out the gate, the fucking Gorman senator is being arrested.
Yep.
Unprovoked. They no warrants, no nothing. They just roll in and grab him and take him out. And all the other senators are just standing there watching, knowing that there's nothing they can do. You got Bail Organa, Mon Mothma right there. They know this is wrong. They know how fucked this all is.
Yep.
And they realize that there is not a goddamn thing
Yep.
in their power that they can do to help this guy.
Yep.
So that's pretty fucked. And then she is starting to talk about her exit to Yavin. Like she's talking to Bail Organa, and basically she's like, I'm giving this speech, and then afterwards, first she says, you and I should both get the hell out of here,
Right.
and head over to Yavin. But Bail's like, nah, I got some more shit to handle here. But Yavin needs your leadership, so you should definitely go.
Yeah.
And Cassian is over with Clea, and he's part of the plan to get her out from Luthen's end, because Bail Organa has his own plan to get Mon Mothma out. He's got his own like crew that he is gonna have pick her up and get her out of there before shit goes down after her speech. And then Cassian's with Clea, and she's making up his ID because he's like a reporter. That's been his cover since he went to Gorman, was he's like a reporter.
Right.
So he uses the same identity to get into the Imperial chambers. And as she's making his ID and everything else, he tells her like he's done.
The 3D printer moving back and forth. I was like, hey, look, it's got a fucking bamboo 3D printer. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah. And she she does not take to that news very lightly.
Right.
She's like, oh, let me guess, you're tired. It's too much. As she's been doing all of this shit on her end for the rebellion. Are you distracted by something?
I'm trying to spell the word disassembly.
Disassembly. Is that even a word?
No, apparently not.
No, disassemble, Stephanie. No.
So fucking homegirl is a real fucking cunt.
Clea?
I can't,
You don't like her?
I can't stand this broad.
Really?
There's something wrong with her. I think I mentioned it last episode. I really think she's going to be one that kills Luthen. This, like, oh, you think you've got it bad? Well, I've got it worse thing.
I don't think she's insinuating that she's got it any worse.
Oh, no, 100% she is.
You think so?
100 fucking percent. Like she and she probably does, right? But this is like, you're not a leader. Like this isn't how you lead. Like this is why Luthen and her and what they're doing are being kind of pushed off to the side.
Yeah.
Like this is you're not part of the organization, right? If you can't assimilate and actually become into the structure and actually be leaders, instead you're just going to like be the KGB.
Yeah.
Just be like, wow, you know what? You're tired. That must suck for you. Hey, go see my man at the other side of that door, and if that hole looks like a grave, don't worry about it. It. That shit just irritated me. Like I just don't. I get such a bad vibe from her that she's going to be. I don't know. It's just not going to go well.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually like her character.
No, I don't trust her.
All right, guess we'll have to find out what eventually happens to her. So Mon Mothma's assistant is this guy Erskine, who Luthen met at the wedding.
Yes,
and I guess his parents, or one of his parents, was Gorman.
Yes,
so he's got some Gorman heritage to him.
Right, and
I guess he's been Mon Mothma's assistant for a couple of years now, and the whole time he's been working for Luthen. As Mon Mothma's agent, he's also, or her assistant, he's also doing Luthen's bidding and is protecting Mon Mothma from whatever.
So this makes sense, right? Because in the book, we know that her assistant gets killed.
Oh, that's right.
So she needed a new assistant.
Yep.
So this guy steps in, and he's whatever, has the encounter with Luthen, gets recruited.
Yep.
And now he's reporting to her, or he's reporting to Luthen, and Mon Mothma, she's like, you'd almost have to you kind of figure at a point where it's like, okay, I know Luthen's every single person is in his mind is a suspect,
right?
So he's got everyone followed. He's got like, at some point you got to be like, all right, dude, really? Can we not?
See, I'm kind
of. Can I have one person that's not going to be fucking watching me take a shower? I mean, come on.
Oh, well, since you mentioned that, that's totally different.
Right.
But no, I'm of the camp where I think she overreacted when she found out about him working for Luthen on the side.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that sentiment.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that she should have. That's what she should have known.
Yeah.
Right. She should have, like, when the fact that he didn't tell her is, oh, okay, yeah, all right, this is good field craft. If I had known that you would know, and I would have changed my behavior.
Right.
All right. So it's like, that tit for tat. Like, I have to assume that you think that I'm a spy. So I'm assuming you're a spy on me. So I'm going to act a certain way. Like, it's that tangled web, but it's what keeps you up at night.
Yeah,
you're spinning all this stuff all the time.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's so weird too, because like, I thought her and Luthen were sort of partners in crime, but the way she treats him in this episode, it's like she can't trust him, and
well, because she is. There has to be a point where, now that Bail, right, it's like this culmination, right? So now why am I doing this? It's doing this with my hands. I don't know why. I guess culmination, summit.
Sure.
Do this with my hands.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do this.
Makes sense.
Do this. She's the one putting herself out there.
Right.
She is the shield that's going to absorb all the slings and arrows of, like, okay, I'm going to be the one that makes this speech. I'm going to be the target of the Empire now. While everyone else sits back. Yeah, they're going to get scrutinized, but I'm going to be the one that they want. And there's a burden to that.
Yeah.
That she's going to have to bear that others aren't going to have to. And I would imagine, I don't think she slept, right? If we're following along the timeline, like, she's been in the office the whole time. She hasn't slept. We haven't seen or heard from the husband or the daughter.
Yeah.
Right. So this is just all she's been dealing with. And
Mhm.
I just think that she's at her max
Yeah.
for as far as what she's willing to deal with.
Yeah, I could see that. And finding out that this guy is, sort of a double agent for Luthen. But again, like I kind of thought her and Luthen were buddies throughout all of this. But, now that I think about it, she's more in line with the Yavin folks at this point now.
Yeah.
And less with Luthen. So just more evidence that Luthen's the guy that's on the outside.
Yeah, because ow. Yeah. Ouch. Sorry, my leg cramped up. Nobody wants to hang out with the people that do the killing.
Right.
Like at some point, it's just like, no, I just want to kind of separate myself from the guy that's actually doing all the wet work.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna go over here with the structured people that are like, the rebellion. We're rebels. As
Right.
opposed to the guy who's in the dark, fucking doing all the things that make the shit happen.
Yeah.
It's all the operators. It's all the special ops people that are doing shit while everyone else sleeps. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that she just doesn't want to have that association anymore.
Sure. Yeah. And when Luthen finds her and they're talking, he mentions to her that that Bail Organa's team is corrupted. Like, you good?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. The Bail Organa's team is corrupted. The team was supposed to extract her, and he basically tells her that he's got somebody else in mind to get her out.
Somebody
of there.
he trusts.
Yeah, and basically he says he's going to give the line, "I have friends everywhere," which we've heard a couple of times before in this series. And it's the next day, I think, the next morning. Cassian meets up with Luthen and Clea and is basically trying to tell Luthen, like, hey, you need to get the fuck out of here too. When we get her out, you should go to Yavin as well. And he's like, nah, I'm good here. And even though Cassian's like, they're gonna find you eventually.
Yeah, I just think he's persona non grata with all those leaders of the rebellion.
Yeah.
And even if Mon Mothma was like in his court, like if everyone else like looks at him and goes like, that's that guy.
Yeah.
Like that, nobody will trust him.
And
he won't trust anybody. Like, because the rebellion is filled with people that he doesn't have the background on. How big is that thing?
That's what she said.
My penis so smooth.
Sorry, we had
There is a pterodactyl in here.
Yeah, some
massive my good lord.
Fly or something.
It's not a fly. It's over there. Is that a bee?
Looks like a wasp.
It does look like a wasp. Find something to hit it with.
Well,
that assault gun is not going to do shit to that thing, man.
you sure?
Yeah. It's going to just piss it off real good.
Where'd he go?
Behind you. Check 6. All right, so the play-by-play here. There is a... it's most likely some sort of wasp. It's about 3 inches long. It's one of those big fuckers. And it decided to wake up all of a sudden. And it buzzing to the point where we could hear it through the headphones.
Yeah, it was loud. It's still loud. Where is he?
I don't know. He's still flying.
Yeah, I can hear him a little bit.
Maybe we open the door and see if he goes out.
Or just wait for him to settle on the light again, and then I'll get him with the gun.
I'm telling you, man, that assault gun is not do shit. You're going to shoot me in the face. You missed. Behind you.
Oh, direct hit.
Did you see the body? It went that way.
Oh.
The audio listener, the body, you're probably sitting on it. You should really find the body so it doesn't sting you. Maybe it's in my hat.
I'm sure it's fine. I think there's part of his body right there. Yeah. Yeah. He's gone. Okay. So, sorry about that little interruption there.
We've been attacked.
Yeah, we had a massive wasp in the studio, so. Okay. Let's get back on track here. Yeah, Cathian tries to tell Luthen to go to Yavin with him, and he refuses. As Mon Mothma's preparing to, you hearing that? Okay, I thought I heard it again. Maybe we're just hearing things.
Maybe it's a fan on the laptop.
Oh, could be. All right. Anyway. Yeah, welcome to spring. Mon Mothma's
Indeed.
getting ready to give her speech. Bail Organa's outside with her. And he says the line, "Tear the shit out of this place," as she's about to go in and make her speech.
There's your shit.
Well,
right
that's
there.
the third shit this season that we've got.
This season, yeah, but that was
The one this episode, sure.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for them to drop an F-bomb. Sidebar. Apparently, according to some coworkers of mine who follow more of the news and rumors, especially the rumors than I do, claim that, at the end of last season when they were showing Marva's hologram and she's basically saying, "Fight the Empire," was her last words before they fucking knocked over B2 and everything. Apparently, the original plan was for her to say, "Fuck the Empire." And I guess that got nixed at the last minute. So could you imagine, she's giving that speech and "fuck the Empire."
Like, hey, fuck you too, buddy.
Just, I thought that was kind of funny.
That would be funny.
Yeah, but I'm just waiting. I mean, we've breached shit. So fuck is got to be around the corner.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I mean, shit. We use expletives in our regular daily lives.
Oh yeah.
And it's normal, but it's kind of jarring in Star Wars.
Oh, of course.
So
yeah. Kind of like when you hear the word rape.
rape.
Yeah, but
Somebody give out some rape whistles.
Yeah, Cyril Karn is giving out the rape whistles. I'm not a rapist,
Right.
but I will choke a bitch.
Who does that?
I don't know.
It's so fucking weird.
So, all right. So she goes out and she gives the speech. Well, before she gives the speech, there's all kinds of other senators that are making statements, and it's more the propaganda, more like laying
Right.
into the Empire story, like, "Oh yeah, these terrorists and blah, blah, blah. We lost a citizen to this, and we're gonna
the heroes of the Empire that
Yeah.
were killed and blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
Dude, it is again 300 level course in fucking propaganda.
Yep. And then Mon Mothma comes out, gives her speech.
Yeah, there's some point of order stuff. Like,
Yeah.
all right, here I'm going to yield my time to this, and there's Bail Organa goes, "Hey, yeah, I know you're going to stop her from talking, but the Emperor made this rule
Yeah.
that says this. So I think this is an emergency based on what you said. So I yield my time to Mon Mothma to talk about this emergency." Ha ha!
Yep. So
Can't triple stamp, double stamp, bitches.
Yep. And she gives her speech, and she rips into Palpatine himself.
Yeah.
At the end of this speech. And a lot of it was like the loss of truth.
Right. There's a lot of preambling leading up to a lot of politicians speak for basically saying the Empire's bad, Palpatine's the worst.
Yeah.
And then boom, Then they
Oh yeah,
eventually
they
get
cut the
plug.
feed.
Right. And they show this poor bastard running around. You know, they've got ISB guy was supposed to come off shift and couldn't now because there's a crisis.
Yeah.
Right. So he's still on shift. You've got the technician. I thought this was fucking great. You got the Mon Mothma's bug goes dead.
Yeah.
Right. So they're like,
'Cause they find the bug in her office.
right. So they're troubleshooting that, and they're like, well, everything else is working. All right. Well, let's look at this. And then you have the driver who is calling in saying she hasn't been out of the office like in days.
Yeah.
And so they're like, well, he's called about that. And then this happened. I think there's something up. So then they go and report that to this guy. He's like, oh God, I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Yeah.
Right. And so
like you even catch like him in a phone call with was probably like his wife or something.
Right.
Like, well, I'm here for a while, so you know.
yeah. So it's just like this is the most realistic thing fucking ever.
Yeah.
Like here's these people, they're down there doing their job, and you know these little bits of things are happening, and then all of a sudden the shit hits the fan, and some poor fucking bastard is just like, I'm not even supposed to be here today.
I'm telling you, somebody who helped write these scripts had to have
yeah.
done time in the military.
Oh yeah. So he gets stuck in that. He calls and says, "Get her off the fucking air." Then you got this poor producer guy who's like, I can't, I've got to pull the power. Goes to the fucking door. The door's locked. Why is this door locked? Where's the technicians? The technicians show up like, you told us to change the lock on the door. Like, well, where's the keys? Oh, they're up in like level C. Ah! So then the guy's gonna fucking run. Goes, fucking gets that. Meanwhile, she's still talking.
Yeah.
And then I feel like not that the technicians that changed the lock were like in on the overall plot, but they were in on the fuck our boss.
Yeah,
we're making him run around right now.
Yeah, they definitely had a little grin on their faces
Right.
when he was like running away again.
Because everyone's like, yeah, fuck you, dude.
Mhm.
Like, oh, you're panicked now. Like you're having to do something. Yeah, fuck you. But yeah, and then he finally, like, just as she gets to the Palpatine bit, he hits the power off.
Yeah. Now this is where we start getting tie-ins to Rebels. Because I went back and I rewatched the episode of Rebels where they extracted Mon Mothma.
Okay.
Because this kind of like flows in and out with that episode. And at the start of that episode is her giving that speech talking about the slaughter of the people at Gorman. Like, I didn't realize that they specifically referenced Gorman in this fucking Rebels episode 10 years ago. So
aside from seeing shit online, I didn't remember that either.
yeah, so it was very cool the way they tied all of this together.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's all.
It is cool.
Jason.
Yeah. It is cool.
Yeah, it was good planning on their part, getting everything to work out the way it did. And now, of course, we've got the whole the double agent who's part of Bale's team, who's actually working with the Empire. She's doing her thing, trying to kill Mothma or arrest her, while Cassian's trying to get her the fuck out. We got this long scene where, you know, Cassian's trying to extract her, while this bitch is she kills one of the dudes that she's with, and she pulls her gun on Mothma as they're coming out of one of the elevators.
Yeah, because so they foreshadow this, right? Because the emphasis was there'll be 3 of them.
Yes.
Right. So when she offs the third one, then even if Mothma was encountering without Cassian, she would have only encountered 2.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, there's supposed to be 3.
Yeah, that would have set off some alarms.
Right. That would have been like, oh, fuck. All right. Now I got to go this way. Well, I don't think Cassian even gave her that opportunity.
No, because he domed her right
Right.
there. Fucking took her out with a blaster.
Yeah, like Indiana Jones style. It's like, you know, that's real fancy words you got there.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Mon's like, all right, like, calm the fuck down. You've seen people get shot before. Stop screaming. Let's fucking go.
Yeah. So at this point, we've got a lot of back and forth going between like the Senate, Andor, and Mothma and the Empire trying to shut everything down. We get this weird scene back on Yavin. It goes back to Yavin for a second, where fucking Vel is going through this like stash of guns, right? And she finds this one blaster, and she looks at it like it was the blaster that belonged to Cinta or something. Like, I don't know. Like, she looked at it like there was something special about it. And she asks, like, who does this belong to? And some guy raises his hand. And that's it. That's all we see from that.
Yeah, there was...
And I'm like, what the fuck was that all about?
I got the impression that was somebody's gun, that of a character that we... Not Cinta's, but maybe somebody from the other gang from when they did the heist.
Oh, one of the Gorman people?
No. In season 1.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
But I didn't go back.
Yeah.
Like, I know what you're saying. It seemed odd that it was there. Like, all right, hey, everybody, dump your fucking weapons. We got to take inventory.
Yeah. But just that whole scene, the fact that she like looked over the gun, like she recognized it, and said, "Who is this?" The guy raised his hand, and then that's it.
But I mean, remember, this is not the end of the season. We still got, there's 3 episodes where hopefully that ties together.
Oh, well, Big Lovin' is saying Andor gave it to Melshi. He held up Cyril in season 1. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have any reason to disbelieve Big Lovin' in this.
Yeah, no, I believe him. I just
have to go back and watch it.
Oh, the gun came from Ferrix. Okay. But Vel's not from Ferrix.
She was on Ferrix, though.
She was. Huh, interesting. All right, I'm sure we'll come back to that.
If Ferrix doesn't have it, then it's not to be had.
Right. Well, anyway. It was just a very weird scene to just throw in there randomly as all this other stuff is going down. One of the last things that happens as he's getting her out of there is the driver comes up the stairs and is coming down, and she's like, "Oh, that's my driver. He's an ISB plant." And Cassian's like, "Oh, what's his name?" "Yeah, Jim. Hey, Jim."
And she's like, "What?"
Yeah, that's when she really flips out, when she sees him just like fucking boom, blast him out of there.
Like, hey, come, like,
yeah, this is what you signed up for. This is
welcome to the rebellion.
Yeah. Apparently it happened during the whole fuck the Empire riot. So anyway, yeah, he gets her out of there. They get to the safe house that him and Bix were living in the year before, in the last series of episodes.
Yeah.
And Mon even mentions to him, like, "You've been here before, haven't you?"
Yeah, because they show some camera angles where he's like, he obviously knows where the cups and the plates are and shit like that. There's just these little details that I really appreciate that they did.
Yep. And he's told that he's not taking Mon Mothma to Yavin. He's got a different transport that he needs to take, and he's taking his injured buddy with him because for somehow this fucking Will kid now is back on Coruscant with an injured leg and that broad by his side. So not quite sure how that all came about, but Cassian's got to take him back. Mon Mothma's got a different ride, which we know is the Ghost,
right,
in Rebels. So that all happens. They mention too that when he gets back to Yavin that she's going to be making a big speech. And that's the speech that she gives from the Bridge of the Ghost in that episode of Rebels, which we don't actually see the live action version of in this, which, yeah, whatever. Cassian goes to Bix, is happy to see her, blah, blah, blah. They probably fuck like crazy that night.
Mm-hmm. She gave him one last good, like, yeah!
And then she gave him some, like go to sleep.
Sprinkle some crack on him.
Yeah.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, exactly. Because she puts him to sleep and then she fucking bounces and leaves a message with it, basically saying, because he told her the whole plan, like, "Hey, I want to get the fuck out of here. I'm done.
Right.
You and I can go live in some fucking remote place and live our lives together." Well, this whole time, Bix is like, if we're doing this, I want to win the war. And she knows how important Cassian is to this whole war effort.
Well, I think she, to me, what I thought is she bought in so I mean, she already had that feeling, right? She had already said that if we're going to do this, we're going to win.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the healer, what she said about Cassian and him, like being a part of like the summation of all this,
Yeah.
Bix really took that to be like, I don't want to be the person that takes him away from this so that we lose.
Yeah.
Like, it's really the healer's comments
Yeah.
that keep this from happening.
Yeah. So she leaves him a note. Basically, it says, in addition to not getting to fuck me anymore, you still have to stay and
Right.
do the shit that you wanted to leave.
Right.
So
you gotta
goodbye.
You gotta almost die all the time.
Yeah.
And I maybe I'll come find you later.
Yeah. When it's all over, when the
Right.
Empire is defeated, I'll come find you. Oh.
Mm.
Oh, sad face.
Damn. Boom 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 boom.
So Cassian's all distraught about that. But to bring up his spirits, the tech folks say, "Hey, we're about to turn on that droid that you fucking stole."
Like, what?
And yeah, they fire him up. It's K2SO, and that's the end of the episode. Now, I rushed through that because this officially breaks comic canon that had already been established, because we had talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
The comic Cassian and K2SO, where he, finds K2SO for the first time when he's off on a mission with these two other people. Obviously, they didn't incorporate any of that into this.
Right.
So they have officially broken comic book canon, which, to me, I think it's fine, but I think it's also a reason to not really put any stock into comics at this point.
I mean, I don't think we were ever really supposed to put that much stock into them.
Right. But
it's kind of like the novelization of the fucking movie. You know? Yeah, it happened, but it's a version of the story of what happened.
Right. But I mean, at this point, they might as well just call that Legends material, the Cassian and K2SO book.
Potentially.
Honestly, I mean, because again, it's not what happened in real canon. They shit canned that whole thing, basically, for this series, which again I'm fine with, but it just makes me care less and less about the comics in general. And quite frankly, I didn't really like the direction they were going anyway. Especially with the Star Wars comics, the ones that take place with our gang.
Dude,
between the movies.
I feel like I haven't read a comic in like years.
Yeah, well, we stopped doing comics a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, so I haven't felt the need to really look at any of the comics in a long time.
Well, and for me, I thought they were kind of getting a little ridiculous with some of the stuff they were doing.
It was starting to branch off a little too much. And I was like, okay, they're done with this Vader series, and then there was another Vader series, and then there was another overlapping Vader series, and there was another Vader series. I'm like, okay, it's all right. Just move along.
Move along.
My penis is so smooth.
But yeah, that's essentially where the episode ended, and yeah, this block of 3 was pretty fucking good. The first one was, more setup, more kind of getting the pieces in place for the payoff that we got in episodes 8 and 9. But they were all good episodes to me, and especially that episode 8, the slaughter of Gorman.
Yeah. I think episode 8 was I think from a storytelling perspective, I think it had so much overlapping, so many moving pieces that are overlapped just perfectly. And so much pulling back power.
Yeah. They probably couldn't hear that.
Probably not.
Anyway.
Airplanes. Zoom. Fucking distracted by an airplane. God damn it.
That's fine. So
I forget what I was going to say.
You were just talking about how good the storytelling was over.
No, for episode 8, just the overlapping and everything else, and 9 was good too.
Yeah. I think 8
for
was
different reasons.
Yeah, but 8 was the best episode of this.
Yeah.
In fact, I think 8's one of the best episodes of the whole series, quite frankly.
It was pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
It was pretty fucking good.
Now, we've got one last block of 3 left.
Yeah.
It's over tomorrow night. So
Tomorrow night,
our
we'll
lives
be
will
entertained.
change. Looks like we may be out of luck. Tomorrow night, we're pretty fucked.
God, that movie can relate to anything. Like
Yeah.
you could tie that movie to anything in life.
Yeah, pretty
honestly.
much. But anyway, real quick while we have a couple of minutes, what do you think happens to some of these characters that are still alive? Like we've got Luthen still alive. I kind of thought he was going to bite at this series of episodes.
Yeah.
His girl Clea still alive. The boy Will still going. We obviously know what's going on with Cassian. Do we see Bix again, or have we seen the last of Bix?
I don't think so. I don't think we see Bix.
Mhm.
Or if we do, we see Bix as join the rebellion in a different troop, and she dies somewhere else.
Yeah.
Or she goes to Alderaan and gets fucking, like some ridiculous shit, right?
My girlfriend on Alderaan said she had a room for me, so I'm going to stay there for
I'm just gonna
for a
hang
while.
out there. Yeah, Bix is probably one that I'm not really sure about because I expected her to die. I didn't expect her to fucking peace out
Yeah.
with a Dear John letter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like we've seen the last of her. I think
Yeah.
she's not going to be addressed in the next episodes.
The Will kid, there's going to be some engagement with the rebellion that he's going to die.
Yeah.
I really, really think that Lucian is going to die at old girl's hand. I think he's going to be at a point where he's like compromising everything
Right.
because of his paranoia,
Mhm.
right? Where it's finally got to the point where it's like you have now created such a it's this level of paranoia that you've created, and you've created so many circles that the only thing that could give it up is you.
Yeah, he's become the liability.
Right. So then he has to go.
Yeah. That I could see.
So she takes him out, and I don't know what happens to her after that. Maybe a fucking speeder drops on her or something. I don't know. Falls in an age tree and dies.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who's the other? Who else do we care about?
I mean, Vel's still around, but she could just like fall into the rebellion and just kind of like
Yeah.
become one of the many rebels that we have.
Yeah.
Still just floating around. But yeah, we
Yeah,
know
I
what
don't
happens
think-
to Cassian.
I don't think we need to see her end. Like what the focus is going to be Mon Mothma and building the rebellion,
Yeah.
right? Like how coalescing these other star systems,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because right now it's just this group of people and they're kind of scrounging for weapons and shit like that. But when we see them in Rogue One, there's other star systems. You have other beings that are involved.
Yeah, we know the Mon Calamari play a big part in the
Right.
rebellion. Maybe we'll see that.
So that has to happen at some point.
Yeah.
And I think we see that with her anyway. Yeah, Lucian, there's no way Lucian lives.
Yeah.
There's just no way.
Yeah,
And-
I could see him doing sort of a self-sacrifice thing also, but I kind of like your idea better. How he just, becomes too into it, too paranoid to the point where he's now the one that could fuck
He's the
everything
link.
up.
Oh, Deidre. Deidre's the other hanging Chad.
Oh yeah.
We need to so there's a tipping point that they mentioned in these episodes where they're talking about the ISB versus basically like the Imperial Navy,
Yeah.
right? And which one is going to be able to exercise kind of authority.
Mm-hmm.
And going forward, we don't see the ISB.
True.
Right? What we see is the Imperial Navy.
Yeah.
We don't see the ISB actually out there enforcing shit.
Mm.
We see the Imperial Navy. So I feel like after Gorman, maybe something happens where
Like the ISB loses a little bit of favor with the Emperor.
I think that Krennic fucking sells him out. honestly.
Oh, yeah, because he's got the Death Star.
Yeah.
He's like, what do we need these fuckers for? We
Yeah.
got and my big project.
I think that Krennic sells him out to save himself because he's a fucking weasel.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And that's like the downfall of the ISB.
Yeah.
That's just my thought coming up with it right now. But I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll find out one way or the other.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to watch it fucking Tuesday night into Wednesday because I'm going to be too fucking busy otherwise.
I don't know when I'm going to get to watch it. I can't watch it tomorrow night. It debuts too fucking late. Can't do it Wednesday night because Kristen's got plans that night. So it might not be until Thursday, Friday for me, which it's going to suck trying to avoid spoilers online because I saw fucking spoilers for this last 3 episodes.
Did you?
Yeah. Before I got a chance to watch it.
I legit have been that busy.
That's good.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten anything spoiled. So but I haven't been online.
Yeah.
So,
but even in my general news feed, my Google news feed, I saw that fucking Cyril died
really?
in these episodes. Yeah. Yeah, they fucking spoiled it again in a fucking headline. It's like, ugh, why? Why would you do that? Spoil something in a headline.
Because they want the click.
Yeah. Ugh, they can click my ass.
Propaganda, man.
Yep. All right. Well, that's pretty much it. You got anything for end of show reads?
Of course I do. Let's see. For ATSW Family Happenings on Wednesday, ATSW The Escape Pod will have something special up their sleeves. Insert sneaky laugh here. Maybe they'll discuss Andor. Maybe there'll be gaming. But you'll always be left laughing. Escape with Don Della Snooch, Brady Big Lovin', and Dragon Buddy in a live chat, 1905, 7:05 Eastern Daylight Time on YouTube. This Thursday, Alan and Chris, a.k.a. Frank and Fur, will be discussing the 2019 horror mystery Midsommar.
That's the one with Florence Pugh in it, right?
No idea.
I think so.
But before we can review it, first we must view it. Give it a watch and catch the review at Grave Reviews on YouTube at 20:00 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The Orange and Fett Show released episode 145, Flush with Power, this past Friday. I almost, in my brain, that was the whole title.
Oh, Flush with Power this Friday?
Yeah. But just Flush with Power! So, episode 145, catch it on Spotify or Apple. Support the official Sidebar Cantina band till the end and buy their shit. Go to tilltheendofficial.com to check out their tees, sweatshirt, stickers, and posters. Fresh new gear is available now.
Yes.
No news from layman's terms or what the fuck? Scroll up. You suck.
I know Keith is going to be at the, at least he told me a few weeks ago that he's going to be at the thing this weekend, the Philly Fan Expo.
Nice. I expect pictures and make some video shorts so that we can post some stuff up on social media.
Mm-hmm.
No news from layman's terms and use and abuse, but what Jason said.
Yeah.
You can find us at bio.link/sidebarcantina, where you can find our links to Patreon, YouTube, our audio podcast, and Apple, Audible, and Spotify, and all social media platforms, including X, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, and Discord. Once you get to the bio link, simply click the symbols under our pick and go to your platform of choice. You can also find all of our past Spotify mixtape playlists. Also in our bio link is a TeePublic merch shop. Choose from 7 designs on everything from t-shirts and hoodies to tote bags, phone cases, exclusive stickers or pins, wall art, magnets, notebooks, laptop cases, pillows, just about everything you can imagine. Nothing says lovin' like a naked Jason chick on a pillow. And Jason would know. He sleeps with his every single night.
That's not true.
Every night.
Don't believe the propaganda.
Except for when it's being washed.
Right.
Which is every other night. Because it's a mess. Go to bio.link/Sidebar Cantina and click merch. Reviews?
No new reviews.
Please write us a 5-star review on Apple or Audible. Don't have an Apple or Audible account or a Facebook page. Just screenshot your review and hit thumbs for the Instagram. Blah, 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 blah. It's a chance to tell us your thoughts on the show. So fucking do it. I'll do it in a voice. Make it fun. So fucking do it. Do it.
Do it.
If you're listening to us on audio, please consider joining us in the live chat on Mondays. The chat is most definitely where it's at. we were super into the show this week, so I was unfortunately ignorant of the chat.
Well, they did give us some good insight on the gun and that whole scene with Vel.
They did.
Still don't understand what the point of it all was.
I'll have to go back and draw some circles and arrows and make the connections. Chad definitely at ding that bell. Wait, Chasmo definitely is at. If you're new to Sidebar, please subscribe, ding that bell, select all to receive notifications when we go live. Why does my shoulder itch? Probably has parts of that fucking wasp.
Oh, speaking of which, I see the corpse.
Nice.
Yep. Confirmed kill.
Put it on a pike and put it out front. See,
This is a message.
This is what happens. Ding that bell, select all to receive notification when we go live. Remember to smash that like button. It really helps us out. As always, a huge shout out to all of our Patreon supporters. You are the reason why we do this, and that is the fastest I've ever gotten through this.
No.
My
All right.
penis.
You good?
My penis. My penis. My penis so smooth.
Oh, that's the end of the show, folks. So join us next week when we finish off Andor. Season 2 is going to be over.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure everybody will have long seen the... what are you looking for? Oh. We'll have long seen these episodes, but we still got to cover them, and I'm sure we'll have a ton to talk about. So join us next week when we finish off Andor. Man, it was over that quick. God. It's crazy.
It's a shame.
But until
It's
next
not over
time,
yet.
Yeah. Until next time, Dave and everybody else, may the force be with you.
May the force be with you. God damn it.
It's pathetic. Pathetic.
Pathetic. Okay, now what do I click? That. That is what I click.
You may want to edit out some of that the wasp.
Why?
Distraction. I don't know.
Fucking hilarious.
Don't know how well it'll translate to the audio, folks. But
truncated silence is going to shorten it.
right. You're still gonna wonder what the fuck's going on. Ugh. It's hot. It's getting to the point where I'm gonna have to start cold soaking the studio.
Right?
I actually had it on for a little while this afternoon.
Well, it was chilly early.
Yeah.
All right. I got to pee.
All right.
Like, immediately.
Well, then I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Thank you, everybody. We love you guys. And we'll see you not tomorrow, next week.